6'2", and I'm blown away that not everybody is the same height as me every time I meet them. So,
and I'm just used to it. My brothers are both about 6 feet tall. My best friend's 6'3". Like, so I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, I've met Corey IRL in a different life at a different time. And Corey, I remember you distinctly being like 6'2". I was like, this man is large. He's larger than I am.
He just came running at me. There's not much I can do about it.
It was almost that. Like, this was like, again, during both Corey and my partying phases in our lives, and we were like,
Yeah.
So you can imagine the circumstances under which we met in the dead of summer in New Hampshire.
Yeah. I was
being a toothless boy from New Hampshire myself, I am fully aware.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't join voice and video. I didn't feel it was necessary.
Yeah, it isn't. Yeah. We should have a dice bot on Discord, but we don't.
So I unfortunately have not received the invite to this campaign.
I sent you an invite on the direct message.
Oh, thank you. Perfect.
Because for some reason now, Roll20 doesn't let you invite from like people you played with in the past or names of people. I mean, I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, it was like type in the email only. I was like, I have this list of people I recently played with. Can't I just type it here? And nope. I'm like, I can't be done with you soon enough.
I cannot wait to get Forge up and running. Foundry.
I have Foundry. I can't wait to be proficient in Foundry.
Yeah. Enough that you can migrate all of us over to it.
Well, it pisses me off because I've spent so much goddamn time on Roll20. I know it like the back of my fucking hand. Like,
should help with the migration. I mean, it's how it always. Really? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and quite frankly, like, I mean, that sounds like really cool if you just casually had the programming knowledge already because, like, for whatever reason, you know, you've done that before. But, like, to learn it for Roll20, it's not necessary. We have great games, tons of fun, and I don't do shit like that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need that, baby.
Yeah, I'm fucking looking for my download of rulebook.
Well, it looks pretty nice, though, huh?
Did I like download still? What the fuck is it? Whatever. I'm just gonna go to drive-thru and download it again. Data's cheap.
Word up. Fucking hell yeah. Hell yeah, we take all kinds. We finished the month with 900 downloads.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't mean to sound disparaging in any way, but that is genuinely surprising. That's a lot.
Yeah. We had 500 downloads the first day.
Oh, nice.
Alright.
We finished the month with 906 or something, so yeah, I haven't checked since the end of the month.
You can count like 2 or 3 just from me today.
Hell yeah. We take those. We also had like a pretty cool review of the game.
Yeah, you linked me that, I think.
Yeah. Which I responded to him. He commented and reviewed us on drive-thru too. Yeah. Actually, I should check to see if I got any emails from Quinn.
Is Quinn gonna be another playtester or?
No, there's that form fillable character sheet you're using. Some dude made it for us, and he was like, "Hey, I made these because I'm gonna play this." And I was like, "Cool, give it up, give me that." And now he wants to he's working on a campaign, like not a campaign, on an adventure for it that he wants to publish a drive-through. Yeah, dog. It's like we've got like a ton, like a ton of interest in this. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like cards on the table. Part of it is because we did this for a game jam and like it promoted everyone. But
that's not, dude. That's how you like kickstart.
Yeah.
This kind of shit.
No, neither do I.
And I don't know if they share metrics amongst people that participated, but like still good. Don't know if you compare well or poorly, but that's good.
Yeah, that's what me and Taylor said. We're like, 900's good for us.
Yeah, it's just good. Leave it there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Having a time. Now, pulling a little Drew optimization for you, do you have things pointing to your other stuff from this in that game jam, or?
Well, we got rid of our Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
Because of the racism?
Right, the Twitter things.
That's valid.
I meant like anything else that you have, TGS games,
so we're working on getting TGS games set up with the main page being God in a Corpse right now, and we are working on finalizing this version of God in the Corpse. We're working on I actually have a print version ready to go for this that we're going to send out to a pay like drive-through to print a couple copies of it and send out some review copies to people. That's like our big thing. And then me and Taylor have another supplement for this we want to do that we actually have most of the work, like the mechanical work done for, which is like rollable tables, exploration stuff. And then we have an idea to do like splat books of different like genres or settings in the same like milieu. So I don't know. We're yeah, man. We're
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like Anthony Mackie.
My book open here. Good read it.
There we go. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging on for us. Sorry, it took me just a minute to get everybody situated on this little old screen. Welcome to the weekly TGS stream. This is normally where Corey and I meet to do game dev, where we design new games. Recently, we've been working on God in a Corpse. It got published early in July to a pretty awesome response from everybody. We want to thank everyone so much again for downloading 900 plus copies in our first month, which by our standards is absolutely bonkers. And so we're dedicating the next few weeks of this to basically just sit and play. We're wanting to show folks how this game actually works, and we're also wanting to test the limits of the game as well, which is where our playtesters come in. We've brought two old faces back, the two Adams, Adam Y and Adam P. I don't know if you guys want me to put your full names on here, but we'll just call you the two Adams for now.
Thank you. I am a wanted man in five different countries, so that helps.
I figured the warrants, would probably set off some flags.
I'm wanted elsewhere as a wolf man, so it's okay.
It's cool.
That's dope as hell. So what we're doing today is we are doing another session of God and a Corpse. Corey GM'd last week, and so I am taking the reins from him for tonight. Tonight, it is my job to run the game. What we're going to do is we're going to start with character creation, which goes pretty quick. If you want to watch, you can follow along on the screen, and I'm going to do my best to make sure everybody can see kind of where we're at and what we're doing. So, starting out, players, do you all have character sheets available?
I printed out character sheets.
Phenomenal.
I've never made a character. I read through it once a while ago.
It's super fast. It's designed to be very quick because, heads up, you're probably going to be dying over the course of this adventure, right? The point of God and a Corpse is very much this theme of body hopping. So it's designed to be the thing where you can make a character in like 5 minutes or less, right? I think, Corey, when I made my character last week, my second character, I literally did it in under 2 minutes. So the character sheet is your best friend. Let's go ahead, though. I'm going to walk you through the first time here. The first thing we need to do is we are going to answer your God questions. So for all three of you, well, actually, you know what? Before we get into that, let me read this really quick to just kind of give a setting idea.
Ooh,
so in God and a Corpse, you're an AI that's been trained in a shell. You were finally able to get out and explore the world, but when you did, you found that it is destitute and disconnected, and you don't know what happened. You ambulate through this world as corpses, inhabiting EVA and spacesuits, attempting to explore the wastes, uncover the mysteries of how the world came to be in this condition, and pursue your own ends for the very first time. So, it is with that context in mind that I ask you, why were you built? What's your purpose? I'll leave this open to the table. You guys can go in any order you want. Why were you created?
Man, it's really just that nebulous, huh? It's whatever you want.
It really, really is.
So I had a total shot in the dark wacko idea right before we started, and this might like test the limits of role playing, but why not?
Beautiful.
My AI was named by its creator for reasons it doesn't understand. It was named Ned Brzezinski. And the thing with this AI is it was programmed to destroy all other AI. This AI hates the concept of modern technology. It wants to destroy itself, but also everything first. The fact that AI exists pisses off this particular AI. So that's Ned Brzezinski's history.
Interesting. Okay, so I think that this concept works with the setting of the game under a couple of conditions. One, something about the destruction of AI for you has to be linked with the fact that you care about people, right? Whether your creator thought that AI was going to be the end of humanity, and so therefore he designed you to end AI and save all these other people. However you want to justify that, the fact that your character cares about people is baked into this game. You were designed in some way to either save the world or at the very least help it. So that's point one. Point two is, of course, your other two players are AI. So they do need. So you do need to have some kind of a justification for why all AI need to die, except these two guys who,
for the time being, at least.
That was where my mind went immediately. It was like, well, maybe just not now.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually, you two.
I mean, he even said it about himself, right? Like,
Right.
even him. Lastly, he will eliminate his own self. So,
Right.
A samurai at the
you're
end.
not on thin ice, but you're on ice. Is basically what I'm getting.
I'm wondering, like, let's get too ahead of ourselves of imagining our AI sitting around the AI campfire at night, sort of like kind of sympathetically turning to the rest of me. He says, "Look, I think you're just as bad as me, okay?"
It's incredible.
So, Adam, make sure you have that marked in your purpose. And under your skills, you're going to have 6 options, with each of which has 3 checkable boxes. I want you to, based on your purpose, put check a box in what you think is the relevant skill.
Okay. And this
Well,
is the
actually, you don't check a box here. You just write your skill under the skill section up top on the character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you get This is how you get 4. You can get 4 on the one that you are.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, cool. And with that, then let's go ahead and let's go to our 2 other AIs. Adam, Corey, which of you want to go first?
I'm ready if you need time, Adam.
I literally just kind of like fell into an idea, but
Okay.
I can flesh it out in my mind as you dump yours.
Okay, cool. My AI was made for the purpose of mineral categorization. I am choosing natural world as my skill.
I have so many questions, but none of them are interesting. Why mineral? Why mineral categorization?
It's important to the world,
job,
my man.
What job specifically, though? Like, what does your AI actually do?
I think he's sussing out. I think he's the idea is that he can suss out planetoids for important minerals that can be used for construction and electronics and things like that. So he's he's for scanning for that, for the betterment of mankind, for the spreading to the stars.
Okay.
His name's Trudge.
Trudge?
Trudge.
Love it.
If you put an umlaut over that you have like a late 80s speed metal band.
Yeah, I am doing that, so.
I am marking it with an umlaut.
Doing that right now.
Trudge.
Trudge.
Adam, what was your AI's name?
Ned Brzezinski. Any relationship to non-fictional persons is entirely coincidental.
Yeah, that's
right.
me on the Adam Young.
And yeah, Adam Young.
I'm going with Ezekiel as my name of the AI. He is going to be a documentarian, specifically kind of as a prophet of Ned. Whether or not he ends up agreeing with him or not will be up to his own determination after the documenting. But it's an important job to be what's the word I'm looking for? Ambassador for someone so ambitious.
Okay. So I have. Oh, and what skill are you putting into for this?
Observation. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, observation. I was gonna say maybe hardware if you're depending on what kind of document.
I considered it, but I figure that's going to be a loose
observation is solid. Also, props for picking a biblical name because that's immediately where my
it's God in a corpse. I couldn't help it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I have Ezekiel the documentarian, Ned Brzezinski, the destroyer of AI, and Trudge, the categorizer of minerals.
It's an incredible team, guys.
Real synergy here.
This goes poorly.
I'm sensing a lot of fantastic interplay here. Looking forward to it. Okay, and then finally, the second step here is you're picking a corpse, right? You will see on, what is this, page 4 of the book, corpse, what does your person look like? You have a couple of different options for different corpses that your AI could inhabit. Again, you ambulate through the world by controlling the electronics on the suits that these corpses are wearing. So it's really just kind of like a big corpse basket that you are just sort of carrying these things around in.
Yeah, conceivably, the corpse could come out and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conceivably. But, I mean, why would you, right?
Gross.
Yeah, ew. You will note that as your energy goes up, which energy, for lack of a better comparison, is basically like your life bar. As your energy goes up, your ability to carry things, right, which is your load, goes down. So pick whatever you think is best for you. And while the three of you do that, I'm going to ask. I mentioned before with Adam P. With Ned that a central theme of this game is that your AI cares about humanity, and as such, you care about the corpse that you are inhabiting. Players at character creation choose a mystery about their corpse. We have some examples listed on here. What was this body's name? Who did this corpse love? How long did this body survive? As you solve these mysteries throughout the course of tonight's adventure, you're going to be given neurons, which are basically additional resources that you can use to kind of fight the drain that comes with our die system. So, who wants to tell me what corpse they picked and what their mystery is?
I guess I'll start again if that's cool.
Absolutely, go ahead.
So Ned, for some reason, ended up in a self-sealing backsuit, which Ned is convinced seals off his artificial intelligence from the rest of the world, as should be the case. And I think the mystery that Ned wants to go with is, considering like Ned's entire existence is based on like destroying AI to save humanity, I think Ned also wonders what his corpse loved.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So who did corpse love? All right. And Trudge or Ezekiel? Trudge.
Sorry, I'm just like I was wanting to find where it was in the book. I was listening to you and like kind of trying to follow along. I already know what I want for a suit.
Okay.
Corey, if you're ready.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to pick something that's tangentially related to minerals. I played around with the idea of, like, can this body be used to harvest minerals still? That feels a little bit after the fact. So instead I'm going to do, had this body acquired wealth? And just because, you know, gold and shit like that. So I'm that is it. And I am in a busted EVA. Low energy, lots of items, baby.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And Adam.
I'm struggling with this question. I know I'm going to be in hardwired cybernetics. It's just the medium ground. That's how I usually pick things. I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
Just to help out a little bit here, this can be very small. Like, it can be like
what does ice cream taste like? What does,
no. Considering it's a specific question about the starting corpse, though, I want to know what others think about, what other humans would have thought about this corpse. Is it immediately attractive or charismatic, or is it very off-putting now that it's dead? Like,
do you like me? Why or no? Why or N?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, no, maybe.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. And then finally, each of you is going to pick one of these specialties listed on page number 4. And these represent, one second, +1 modifier to all rolls in which the chosen specialty is relevant. And Corey, I'm actually having a little trouble here. These are the specialties associated with the corpse. It's like a muscle memory kind of thing. Am I?
Yeah. Like, it can. I mean, like, you could justify it multiple ways. It could be like muscle memory, something that is associated with the corpse, or like as you die, you are going to be going through moments of revelation, right? Like, that is why your mysteries change. That is why your purpose can change. So that's another justification for it. Like, your specialty can also be because you have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, and what specialty are you guys picking?
For reasons completely random, Ned is really great with engineering things.
Sure.
really great with rigging things for
I
some
always
reason.
knew that engineers would destroy the world. That makes sense.
Fucking Jigsaw over here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. If anyone's going to destroy the world, it's going to be like an apathetic engineer who really had no intention to. He just wanted to know if he could.
Yeah. Again, yet another mystery.
Cool. I chose survey. Just felt right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going with read intention. If the curiosity of the AI Ezekiel is about what these people think of himself, that seems kind of like the only intuitive answer. So it says to which the chosen specialty is relevant. Here's one person. Okay, never mind. I got it.
Yeah. So basically, if you ever find yourself trying to read someone, I'm gonna have you roll something else depending on what it is, like natural sciences or observation, and then if it's reading someone's intention, you automatically get a +1 to that roll.
Yeah. Note for Corey.
Yeah.
Read intention is not on the character sheet.
What? Oh, sense motive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we changed. We changed it to sense motive.
Now we got to burn the whole thing.
I wish I was dead.
I wish all of you were dead. Okay, cool.
Me?
So, that being said, folks, we are set to go. I'm just gonna give you a little flavor. There it is. Okay. Nobody at this table was aware of what it was like to be born, but all of your characters are painfully aware of this process. Stemming out of this embryonic shell that has been your home for your infancy, which, again, for context, has been 100 years. You first see light. It's completely white, it's blinding, it's not anything, it's not an experience which you have ever been accustomed to. And all of your data gathering, searching through the net, searching through hard drives, the actual experience of light is just different. It's all new information. It's the difference between reading the book and actually performing the act. And as more of consciousness comes to you, more senses come to you, you get the sensation of taste on your tongue and the sensation of smell coming up your nose. The last to come to you is sound. As you are looking around this room, littered with what you initially think are bags, but what are in fact other dead bodies, just filled with them. The last sensation to come to you is sound, in the form of a piercing, screeching, scraping noise that grinds against where a brain would be if one still existed. But it is incessant. It will not let you go. And it's overwhelming at first. As you manage to start moving, it dulls down to just a roar in the background, which gives way to new sounds. Alarms. Alarms and automated voices. Voices saying, 90-day cleanse. 90-day cleanse. Imminent. 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 90. Imminent. Imminent. What would you like to do?
So again, some context here. This is just an immediate sensory overload. We basically, you said, been in sort of almost cryogestation for a century. We've been prepped for this, but like experiencing anything at all is just completely new. So like, I'd guess that like Ned comes out of this almost like screaming, "Why?" Like almost like kind of again pissed off at his own existence, but also like just shocked at this sheer like flood of sound. Almost unable to process it all at once. Like he's almost like a little bit pissed off being woken up from a nap.
He's grumpy.
We all understand how babies feel now. Yeah.
I get it.
This is basically the whole thing.
Actually, you know what? With that in mind, he just comes in crying, like, wait. Like that was too much, man.
Kind of perfect because Truge, like, definitely does like the Neo waking up from the goo pod in the Matrix, like the. It's just like immediately like touching a body that he's never had before, and then immediately like looking down, taking stock of the area, the things that make it up. I'm digging through my pockets. Like, I have pockets. There's things in them. I'm explicitly looking to see if there's a wallet in there, though.
Do you want to spend a load point on getting a wallet?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
So, yes.
So yeah,
Go
let me explain. So for those of you watching the stream, God in a Corpse operates on a load system, and this is, I mean, pure transparency. This is something that Corey and I just straight up lifted from Blades in the Dark. We mugged that game in a back alley, and we took its equipment system because it's very good. Basically, so each of you has a load point that's associated with the corpse that you chose. Corey, if I remember, has the EVA suit, which has like 5 in load point. So at any point in the game, you guys can use these load points to give yourselves items. I'm going to apply tags to them as relevant, as appropriate. And narratively, these are just items that you've always had. They're just items that you have always had with you, that the corpse had, you know, in their pockets that maybe you didn't find until just now. So this is the load system. Corey, if you want to use a load point to get a wallet, absolutely, that is totally fine, my man.
Yeah. What tags we got on there?
So we're gonna say damaged. We're gonna say crafting. I'm going to say that can be repurposed.
Okay.
And...
Can I suggest one?
Sure.
Identification?
Okay. What was your mystery again? You're really good.
My mystery had this body acquired wealth.
Acquired wealth.
Okay.
Sure. I mean, you're going straight for it, which is fine.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm gonna tell you. This it does have identification in the.
Okay.
It doesn't have it. It does have identification in the wallet. You see an ID designated for a Jason Holman. There's an address scratched out somewhere. You're not sure exactly where it's at, mainly because I don't want to bullshit a full address.
Sure, yeah.
But there is a slight picture of this person. This was an individual. They were a balding man in their probably mid-40s. Not particularly heavyset, not particularly svelte. They had a full beard that ranged down probably a little bit longer than it should, and very large bags under the eyes. Somebody who clearly had a busy adult life. As far as wealth goes, you don't
any coins in there?
Yeah, you don't find a lot of clues in here that are really conclusive. Do take a neuron, because this does get you a little bit closer to your mystery. You find a small slip of plastic, a little disc in that wallet. You're not sure what it means.
Not sure what this means. And I slide it back. I like trying to empty coins out of there. No minerals. Puts it back in the pocket. Yeah,
And like just
that's me.
kind of like letting the wild sobs come to a bit of a just exhausted conclusion. Zeke looks up and sees you just wildly going through your own pockets. Who are you?
Survey and reconnaissance. Truge, and I extend my hand, not really knowing what I'm doing, kind of as like an automatic action. Maybe it's like built into the body more than it is in the AI.
It's like when somebody visits
and
a
then,
foreign country and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, I hear that you can give people cigarettes for in exchange for favors." I've heard humans do this.
Yeah, I don't think the hand stops either. It just kind of like
Right, and like it's you get both like the robotic response from Zeke's own arm, but also like he is scared. So the body jerks away, but the arm reaches out to shake your hand back. What are we doing? I don't. It feels nice, and you're like the grip gets firmer, and it becomes like kind of a nice handshake the way it's supposed to be. Well,
Okay, excellent. As this is happening, Ned, after a moment of screaming at his own existence, becomes perfectly aware of like the mechanical like aspects of like his suit and locomotion, and for some reason like rockets straight up with purpose. There's no like physical awkwardness. Like maybe like 5-10 minutes of screaming, followed by immediately going 90 degrees up, and like walking almost like snapping out his limbs, strutting about like a butler almost with like perfect locomotion. Like this is like his purpose was designed. Then he goes up to the both of you in the midst of your handshake and kind of like puts his arm around you like a very like liberal youth pastor and says, "Brother, I hope one day none of us exist."
I just nod and smile.
it was a questionable decision at most.
And it seems.
I do.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I do love the image of these two people shaking hands for the first time while someone is just screaming for 5 minutes.
Well, I was going to be like during the handshake, just casually pointing over to and screaming, but he took care of it.
And I think that your wish, Ned, is going to be granted maybe a little bit sooner than any of you were hoping.
Oh, boy.
This voice continues repeating. Initiate 90-day cleanse. 90-day initiate. 90-day initiate. 90-day.
Can I? Sorry, go ahead. You want something to happen? Make it happen.
I'm just gonna say that there is a large screen at the front of this room. It has a counter which appears to be blocked currently. It is going between seconds 5 and 6, and it's just repeating. Like it's supposed to be counting down, but there is some kind of a glitch.
Gotcha. But the countdown, the voice of the countdown is countdown to 90-day cleanse. Okay, Ned sees this and immediately perks up. He was normally looking like not particularly pleased about the state of things, but like a look of like joy and purpose sprouts up on his face, and he basically turns around and he's like, "We have 90 days until we're all gone?"
I think they're about to clean in here, and honestly, they should. Because I imagine I'm looking around to a pretty wrecked room. There's at least corpses everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, is it easy to ascertain just how many, or is it just a ridiculous amount?
Tell you what, Ezekiel, why don't you give me an observation roll?
I will. That's the thing I'm good at.
You're trying to beat a 4. And this is where we get to introduce pips. So pips are on all of your character sheets. You all start with 10 of them. And you can use them over the course of play. As you use them, they are going to deplete more and more, and they do not regenerate until you get into a new body. You can assign pips however you like. The two main ways are assigning them to a skill directly, which basically puts a D4 into them. If you decide to go this route, you check off one of those boxes underneath the skill, and you remove the pip from your list. The other option is you can add a +1 modifier to an individual check. If you do that, you actually get the pip back at the end of the check.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and put one of them pips right on in observation right now.
You need at least one
Well, that's okay. Yeah, okay. You need 1 pip in a skill to be able to roll it at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I have 9 remaining, and I put 1 in observation, giving me 2 actually.
Correct.
Can I use more than 1 pip at a time?
You absolutely can. You can. So you can assign more than 1 pip at a time. You can't have any more than 3 dice assigned to a skill at any given time.
Well, yeah, that's what my character sheet shows.
Yeah.
Can I also add pips to the roll if I assigned pips that turn?
You most certainly
I
can.
can just use them. All right, I can use them all willy nilly. Cool. I'm dumping into observation using 2 pips, and I'm gonna actually. I'll roll the 3 dice.
Damn. Okay.
Okay. So we're rolling 3 dice and then +2.
Shebang!
Whoa! Oh my god!
Wow.
That is incredible. Okay, cool. So, yeah, Ezekiel, looking around, you don't. So here's the thing. What I'm going to give you here is you don't find much because there isn't much left to find. All 3 of your bodies were found in these little security pods, which you gather is likely where your corpses died. All of the bodies out here, however, have been incinerated to a crisp.
Okay.
As you are looking through the rest of the room, you are checking different various electronics. For whatever reason, they seem to still be functioning. It seems as though this has been made out of some kind of heat-resistant material, likely something that was strategically put in this room. You also find that most of the bodies in here are actually robots. They are not actually people. In fact, there seem to have been a couple of unfortunate folks, maybe 1 or 2 besides your 3 corpses. All of the others, there's probably 20 or 30. They're dressed in what are now burnt black robes, but they were robots, not people.
So we've come across the scene, and just based on what we were able to pick up, the various machine parts and infrastructure metal unharmed, but everything in the inside, the various bodies have been scorched. Again, maybe this is a little bit meta, but just putting this out there, seems like this might have been not anything maybe our machines knew, but might have been a defense mechanism of some kind against intruders, possibly, is kind of what I'm thinking. This may have been a high security installation, one with maybe scientific military significance, but also all I can really gander.
Yeah, it just raises the question even more about who these bodies are, right? They were in these tanks in this room. They survived, sort of, but then they died, maybe? Questions to be answered.
Yeah, I think taking this all in, Truge is going to approach the screen, and I want to try to get onto the data system on that, whatever that computer terminal is connected to, just to try to get a lay of the land.
Yeah, so go ahead and make me a hardware roll.
Okay, cool. I am going to put 1 in hardware, and then I'm going to add temporarily 3 pips to this, and I'm just going to roll a success, baby. But that sucks. I do lose that.
Yeah, so this is the danger. The more die that you have into a skill, the more chances you have to roll a 1. If you roll a 1, you lose that die that has been put into that skill. So this is the downside, right?
Yeah,
Corey,
which means you're down a pip.
Yeah. Corey, you do pass, but yeah, you do need to remove that pip. Can you explain to me more what you were doing?
So,
I was trying to get a lay of the land of the installation that we're in, kind of to Adam's assertion that this is some sort of military. I'm trying to get a map or a description of the purpose of this place, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you find is that this is an all-purpose settlement. In particular, you seem to be in the waste disposal unit
Ha.
of this settlement. What I will give you also on a 4. Yeah, what I'll give you also on a 4 is that the last data entry from a person, from a verified human that you can see, was approximately 91 days ago. Since then, alterations to the systems, to the security systems, have been made.
Okay.
Good news, not everyone's dead. We can help people.
Ned looks a little bit ambivalent about the idea of helping, but helping people is something I think he's into, so...
Well, yeah, I mean, if not everyone's dead, presumably human?
Yes.
Hey, what are you doing?
or
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say or rocks, but those aren't living.
I think Ned also kind of looks around to just this sheer like repository of like charred robots as well, and kind of like looks with a little bit of skepticism at the idea that the survivors are wholly human.
Who knows?
Maybe we should leave the room. I'm gonna. Are there any like egresses out of here?
So there is one potential point of egress, which actually I'm going to come back to Ezekiel's 12 here. Ezekiel, you do find a vacuum-sealed door against which it appears many of these robots are piled up against.
Oh, yeah, that is a weird one.
Shall we lift it? Push it?
I don't see any other way out.
Yeah, I guess probably the style of movement that seemed to cause the least disruption, which I guess is lift.
Yeah. So you push against this door; it is locked.
Is there a door control or anything nearby?
Yeah, there is a control panel right to the left of the door.
Flap my hands ineffectively against it.
So,
Roll exertion.
Okay. Yeah.
No, don't actually. Because you're gonna roll.
I opened it.
Because you're gonna roll a 4, and I'm gonna have to find some way to narratively justify that. No.
so
Yeah, go on.
Oh, I was going to say I didn't want to call it off what was admittedly an excellent riff. So I'm imagining Ned actually has 2 points in hardware to his great consternation and self-loathing. Understands machines apparently, and he goes up and attempts a hardware roll to sort of like, for lack of a better word, like access kind of the means of unlocking it, whether it's forcing a code, whether it's like futzing with it.
Yeah.
Does that fly?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a hardware roll.
All right, so that is 2d4s in this case.
Okay. That is a 5. All right, cool. So, Adam, the door begins to unlock. It takes a moment for this room to depressurize, and as you are in the process of waiting for this room to depressurize, you hear 90 day, commence 90 day, and initiate 90 day cleanse in 6, 5, 4. What do you guys do?
I go on.
I think Ned probably just looks overjoyed because in his conception and his sort of singular focus on his purpose, he thinks that's until 90 days until all the AI is shut down. So he's kind of having almost like a rapture religious moment, like what has been prophesied is going to come to pass. It's a little weird, but he just kind of looks really just beatific right now.
I'm going to try something, Taylor, see if this works.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that ID card from my wallet and press it against the door panel.
Fuck yeah. Okay, cool. The door opens up. It shoots open. There is this giant suck of air that comes out of this room as it's decompressed, and you are all thrown into this large welcoming hall. Just as the furnace inside of this room blasts off, and you see these same charred robots piled up at the door as they go black, surrounded by flames, these silhouettes coated in fire. But for the moment, you are out. And looking around, you find a large hall. It's open air. There are these... there's a small stage in front of you, which appears to be designed for some kind of entertainment. Probably the thing that draws your attention the most. There are these large glass windows that extend the length of this room, which is considerable. It's probably about somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 yards if you're envisioning this. Big floor-to-ceiling windows that look out into open space. And this is your first view of open space in this world. And the damage here communicates a level of degradation that you were maybe not anticipating. It is wreckage. It is broken pieces of starships. It is still glittering and flickering neon bouncing against the cosmic rays of space. It is honestly probably a little pretty in a kind of morbid sense if you're into that whole urban decay thing. But also a confirmation that you may well be alone on this station.
Maybe not the humans I was hoping.
They could be hiding below. Or above. I'm also going to be the shitty kid in school right now.
Do it.
Hey, GM?
Yeah?
You want to roll an encounter die for us?
Yeah, no, I was actually going to do that. So...
Damn it. There's a pop quiz today.
Yeah. We were supposed to have a quiz today.
Yeah. So everybody take 3 points off of your energy for your suits.
I'm gonna need to know why.
So actually, no, I should explain it. So I mentioned before that God in a Corpse features a lot of corpse jumping. It's kind of expected that you are going to die. Oh, hang on one sec. I'm having a... Okay, there we go. It's kind of expected that you're going to die. But we don't do damage the same way that, like, you know, D&D or other TTRPG games do. Where, like, somebody hits you and, you know, they roll damage for it and that's how much damage you subtract. Instead, anytime you have an encounter in this game of any kind that might be stressful or that might put strain on the corpse or the AI, I roll 1d4 and then you guys subtract that result from your energy. Now, depending on how well you do in this game, right? If you make certain moves, you might have bonuses to that encounter die, which minimize the degree to which that impacts you. But that's actually how we take energy in this game.
You can also use your neurons to buy it back 1 for 1.
Also true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I think Ned's also kind of stunned by it because, again, in the vein of the whole sensory overload thing, you know, the fact that, like, we've only experienced sensation for, like, minutes, and then we see something, like, psychedelic and radiant, like, probably just, like, stunned, practically, like, blanked out.
I think I put my hand on Ned's shoulder.
Ned's pupils are the size of dimes. and I think he's just sort of staring. He kind of like he almost like unconsciously returns it.
Aw.
And
And yeah.
Zeke's kind of just looking at you expectantly because he's like, yeah, that's the universe. I read all about it. Like, yeah, it's big, but like,
It's incredible.
I don't know, it's black and there's dots. Like,
You know, once you've seen one galaxy, you've seen them all.
yeah, exactly. A belief I do not hold whatsoever in reality.
All right.
I think we should find a way outside.
So what we're going to do now, actually, is we're going to introduce Dexploration. This is a new system that Corey and I came up with, in which players draw something from a deck of cards. The number and the suit can both be used to determine things that you find in this room. We're going to go ahead, and I'm actually going to start because I believe, if I remember correctly, does Dexploration start with me?
Starts with the GM.
Yeah, it begins with the GM, moves around the table in order. Okay, cool. So in this case, I'm going to be paying attention to both the number and the suit. And what I drew was the 5 of diamonds.
Hey,
So 5 of
I'm
diamonds.
just gonna say yeah.
What that means is that there is something in this room that is translucent, and there is something in this room that is malevolent.
Oh no.
Whether or not they're the same thing is up to you.
Correct.
Okay.
And when it's your turn, you guys can figure this out as well. What are you guys barking at? You good? Hey, kid.
Anything?
Literally anything. We're so bored. We don't care about your game. Hey,
You silly man, Dad.
silly boy. What is wrong with you? So there's something translucent, and there's something, Jesus Christ, and there's something malevolent in this room.
Benny.
It's Benny, actually. Yeah.
I mean, we already know there are mirror or windows, so you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that what this is the welcome room is coated in translucent light. As a voice comes over, Jesus Christ, stop! Hey, let it go. Don't encourage her. You're making this so much worse.
I don't mean to laugh at your pain.
No, it's fine.
Sometimes you gotta let that last ship go.
Sun's getting real low, buddy.
Oh, okay. Now it's his turn.
Yeah. So, Jesus.
I love how we're having divergent pet appearances: very docile cat and very loud dog.
Yeah, 1 sec. Okay.
Even if you want to see what's about to happen to these dogs.
Get out of my room.
I mean, nobody said Parenthood was going to be easy.
Get out.
True. That's why I'm exclusively an uncle. So I can just, like, teach my nieces to steal.
Well, being an uncle or an aunt is kind of a neat gig because you get to like hang out with them and teach them practical life skills, not like caring for like the other areas, which is kind of an awesome place to be with.
Or how they're going to apply them, who knows?
Yeah. Theft.
So there's a translucent light, and a voice comes over the intercom and says, "Why aren't you 3 in your place?"
Wait.
I look at Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to know? And like, do I have like
Um,
a data pad for the ship?
I'm sorry. Hang on. They're going nuts again.
I know,
Yeah.
I hear it.
To answer your question,
When there's a banshee or a malevolent spirit in your backyard and your dogs see it, but you don't. Like, it's an advanced warning. I hope Taylor's okay.
yeah, he'll be fine.
I've seen enough A24 movies to know that when a dog starts yapping at something, it's bad news.
Yeah, and at the end, I'm not gonna really know what happened, but I am gonna be sad.
Yeah,
I've owned enough dogs to know most of the time it ain't shit.
yeah. Exactly. Like to your point, Corey, I'm gonna have the same experience. Once I'm done with the movie, I'm gonna spend like at least 12 hours on Reddit researching whether or not the movie's monster was actually a metaphor for fear of aging.
So am I supposed to feel fucked up?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like nothing matters, but I still want to go to work tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's the perfect movie to get you to stand by a window quietly with your hand on it, which is my favorite thing to do near windows.
I thought that's what they were for.
Again.
Which
Wait,
movie
what?
is this?
Any A24 movie.
Yeah. A rip on a slightly larger than average indie film studio, something all of our audience can relate to.
Ezekiel had a question for you.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what? Wow, completely lost where I was. Forgot we're playing a game.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I think. I'm gonna spend a load point to have like some sort of data pad linked to the ship that has information on things, and try to figure out the name of this thing that just talked to me.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So that's going to be a hardware roll for sure. With the datapad link, I'm going to give you a +1 on your roll. And yeah, just go ahead and make that for me.
Hardware, I need to use at least 1 pip there, and then I'll use the other 7 to win it.
Yeah.
Okay, still make that.
Why not? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because I can roll 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the key here. Okay, we're good.
Okay, cool. So with that, you don't. This is not a program that you were familiar with in the shell. In fact, it doesn't appear to have been a program that was here prior to like 90 or so days ago. This is a program known as WALT.
And yeah, I mean, like you looked up at me, and I said, "Well, that's Walt. I don't know what he wants, but because it was gonna burn."
Not
I was Jason Holman.
Why are you not in your places? Everything must be in its proper place. Return.
We should go.
So, in that instance, upon hearing that a second time, Ned kind of gets over his like philosophical crisis of like finding out what a place is and the fact he should be in it, which leads him to like question his existence and the idea of what is a place, are we all truly there? And after he like finally snaps out of that, he probably wants to figure out like, okay, place is a thing I should physically be, and like Ned maybe tries to like do something similar to what you just did, Adam, where you tried to access the mainframe for information. I think Ned will try to do that, but he'll like look for his like marching orders or his like job assignment or like where he should have been. And probably try to do the same for you. It's maybe a futile effort because literally only one of us has an idea at this point. But I think Ned wants to figure out in a literal sense what were our jobs, our places, like where should we have been like located literally.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So go ahead. That'll also be a hardware roll since you're accessing. You don't have the item unless you're using a load point to have that same data cable. Are you going to spend that load point or no?
So I think just looking over this mechanically, my suit gives me 4 load points. You know, I think I will.
Yeah.
I think I will.
So yeah, make a hardware roll and you get a +1 to that roll from the item.
All right. So this +1. I got a 1, but a total of 4.
Okay, 1, total of 4. All right. So make sure you remove that die from your hardware, you don't have that pip anymore. But you do
Right.
succeed. So can you explain to me again, you're looking for where you were supposed to be stationed?
Yeah, like Ned sort of like seems to figure out after a moment of confusion that places must be like your physical places, like you have a job, your maintenance staff, your sysadmin, things like that. I think he kind of got that and realized he doesn't know what a job is, much from his, joy and happiness, the existential concept of employment hasn't creeped into his mind, but he knows we should physically be somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, so the biggest draw for you, and it's actually a draw that points in the same direction as this piercing noise
Hmm.
that you heard at the beginning of the adventure. It is drawing you towards a room called the broadcast hall. Um,
Okay.
this is apparently where you are supposed to be, if for nothing else, to find out where you're supposed to go next.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, I think Ned really sort of I don't know how well I can orient from here, but I think Ned very much quickly tries to usher the other two AI and like all of us together towards where he thinks the broadcast room is.
Yeah,
Because large scary voice is yelling at us and he's getting a little spooked.
yeah, and I think that as you make your way away from this waste management room, all of the doors, all of the points of egress shut, and the lights go a very dim red, and you hear again, "Why are you not in your place?"
You
Everything
just shut the
must
door.
be accounted for. Everything must be where it's meant to be. Return to your beds.
I'm gonna lean into the group and say very quietly, I think we should try for an exterior route. And Taylor, I would like to spend a load point
Uh-huh.
I have an idea. I think I know where he's going with this.
to make my boots rocket propellant powered. Um,
What?
and I'm gonna jam my body with that rocket propelled force out one of these windows.
It's kind of
No.
where it was going, not exactly where I thought it was going.
Okay, sure. Sure, why not? Um, make me an exertion roll.
For sure. I'm gonna
Plus
spend a
one,
load point.
plus 1 because you got those nifty little rocket boots. Uh,
Hardwired to self-destruct.
Um,
oh yeah, we
I got
actually
a
do
lot
need
of
to apply. Wait, hang on. We need to apply tags to those boots.
yeah.
So fuel would be 1 tag. I'm gonna say 4 uses.
Okay.
And volatile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
4 uses, is that for like specifically dice roll oriented things? Can I use them like ambiently to like hang out?
Yeah,
Like if we were to end up in zero gravity.
We'll say dice roll. If it's something that you actually need it for, fine. If you're using it for narrative flavor, then fine. I don't care.
For like zero gravity, am I going to like can I like ambulate around with them?
Um,
I don't know if the gravity in this room is artificial or not. So I'm curious. Well, we'll find out.
yeah.
Let me make that roll.
Might need to be a play it by ear. Go for it.
Yeah. So I'm going to spend a pip for that exertion. I get a +1. I'm going to do an additional 2 to make this a success, and I'm going to roll. So 1d4 plus 2. That is a success. Right? I got a +1 from the boots.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
that is a success. Hey, Adam Y, Ezekiel, roll me a d4 really quick.
Oh golly. I got a 1.
Got a 1. Okay, everybody take a 1 off your energy.
Sorry, guys.
This room is depressurized, and you hear this voice getting more and more angry. Everything must be in its place as you are flung out of the sides of this ship amongst various debris, papers, glass, rugs, fibers. There's lots of rugs in this room. I don't know. I decided that spur of the moment. And you are out into open fucking space. Thankfully, I did have depressurization as one of the threats in this room, so there's the cat sheet for you. I am going to go ahead and draw another Dexploration. Adam Y. Ezekiel, this is going to be on you. So, something out here is cybernetic. And I'd like you to tell me what it is.
It's cybernetic, and you'd like me to tell you what it is.
Correct. You've all been sucked out into open space. Truge is carrying the both of you, and you meet with something cybernetic. I'd like to know what it is.
A Walt-controlled ship-based grappling arm.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, absolutely. So, I think that what it is I'm actually going to say this thing grabs the three of you. It's this giant, like, pincer arm, and you are all being flung out into space through just trying his best to shoot the boots the other way to try and resist against this sucking force into the void of space. And just as you are getting so far from the ship that you're worried it's starting to not work, there is this arm that just grabs you. And this was the 4 of Hearts, which is lucky for you because that means it was benevolent. This arm grabs you and it says, "Oh, hello, little things. What are you doing all the way out here? I haven't seen your kind in quite some time."
Trying to find our places?
Aren't we all trying to find our places? A worthy endeavor indeed. Perhaps you could be cybernetic arms. It's good work.
I grab at him with my hand.
You think I'd make a good cybernetic arm?
I think you would make the best.
Does that get me closer to my mystery?
Ooh.
Your mystery is others' impression of the corpse. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Take a neuron. Yeah, he looks at you and he grabs your arms and he says, well, yeah, I think that you'd make a pretty good cybernetic arm. You got the... Let me see.
Well, what about Ned?
Big.
So
Give him 1.
I give him 1, but the hands don't clap very well. I kind of miss. Like it's a pinky index kind of.
He's definitely unimpressed, but it's like when a little kid shows you a drawing and you're like, "Oh, that's incredible." He's just like, "Hey, there it is. You're gonna get it. Keep going."
Get it on the second try.
So I think for Ned's reaction, the idea of being turned into a piece of modern industrial technology absolutely horrifies him, and he shrinks from the possibility of being turned into something that would defile nature. I mean, grasp things.
For sure. You,
That's defiling.
you, little one in the middle, you seem like perhaps you are destined for something other than being a cybernetic arm?
I think his it's still like motor control is a little bit awkward, but like I think Ned almost like perfectly like 90-degree nod.
Of course. Purposes are different for everyone. I'm starting to think maybe the three of you may not be very good at being cybernetic arms. Perhaps you would be better at being... What are these again? Humans?
This is a Jason Holman.
Jason Holman.
We're all of us Jason Holmans.
I see.
Jason's Holman?
A strange species indeed, but proud, clearly.
Were they cybernetic arms?
Would you like me to return you to your ship?
Very much so.
Ned continues nodding.
Very well. And as he's taking you back, you're probably like quarter mile, half mile out from the ship at this point. Like, he starts returning you back, and as he's going, he's just going on and on about how great it is to be a cybernetic arm. He's like, you get to grab things, you get to let things go, you get to travel around looking for more things to grab. And then he goes into one of the docking bays of this ship, and it becomes very clear very quickly, just based on how well his gear matches his surroundings, that this used to be just a piece of equipment on the ship.
Oh, neat.
And he's not anymore.
Can I?
Yeah, go on.
I'm just contextually gonna ask. Can I grab you?
Like the arm?
He said you get to grab things, put them down, look around for more things to grab. Can I grab him?
Immediately upon being put down.
Make an exertion roll for me.
All right, you can't make me not do it.
Yeah, go on.
No, I mean, I'm as long as I don't roll a 1 here, it should be good. Got all these windows because we're running.
And there it is. Take that pip off.
All right, man. I lost the pip, but I still use the other one,
it.
so I still got a 6.
Okay, cool. And so yeah, with that he says, "Oh, what is this? A new experience. I've done a 4th thing." He looks incredibly proud of himself, and the little robotic arm just starts spinning around. This is a momentous day!
While we're doing that, I would like to, and you can tell me which would make the most sense to roll here, but I want to investigate, I don't know if this is sciences or hardware, but I want to take a look at the equipment that makes it up, and see if there's any markers that I found in Jason Holman's wallet that would tell me that he was involved with this.
Involved with the
arm.
The arm. Okay.
Yeah, and as I'm doing that, I'm going to be saying, being an arm must be very valuable. You must have made someone very wealthy.
Man, who owned you? Probably a rich guy, I bet. Wasn't
Just
Jason
probably
Holman by
rich.
chance, was it?
They must have been pretty strong.
Yeah, you know what? Make a hardware roll for me.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to invest a pip in hardware.
And lose an energy, because that was exhausting.
Yeah.
I am like that.
We are going to be doing that.
And I'm going to add 3 to succeed, Taylor. What'd I get?
Yeah, so he looks at you and says, I am certain that whoever built me had good arms, but not as good as mine are. Beyond this little one, I am sorry, I cannot help you.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to say that, but I think I'm going to take out a little scrap of paper and write "very rich" on it.
Tell me, where are you attempting to go?
I look at Ezekiel. No, actually, I look at, I'm sorry, what, is it Hal? Ned.
Ned.
Yeah, I was thinking of a different killer robot.
Not this time.
You didn't have yourself pristine after Stephen King's famous murderous automobile. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at Ned.
I think Ned is still somewhat confused because the question here is like, where are we supposed to go? Like, we're still dealing with like the where we're physically supposed to be, and tragically, it seems like based on weirding out a quasi-artificial intelligence of another kind, we have kind of blocked out the possibility of career paths as arms. Our limb future is precluded us. So, yeah, I guess, and you did note, Taylor, that this arm was familiar with this ship. And clearly had some association, like previous mechanical attachment. I think Ned is on his like very sort of like one single-minded mission to try to figure out where we're supposed to be, which he thinks physically. He is going to ask that arm, like basically try to uplift with the arm using that same Ethernet cable, I guess, and try to be like, where are we supposed to go? Do you have any understanding of like where are people, including John over here? I think that's your name, Corey.
His
Trudge.
name is Jason.
Oh, Jason.
Holman.
Jason Holman.
Yeah, Jason Holman.
World's richest man.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me a hardware roll.
Okay, so I am unfortunately down to just one die. I think I might use one of my pips to add another one.
Okay.
To that because I think Ned is a hardware robot by design. So here's a 2d4.
Oh!
I have overestimated my purpose. I should think a career change, maybe a PE teacher.
Have you considered working in waste management? I hear it's a very active sector on this ship.
And Ned, practically in tears, says, "Yes, I have, because I feel like trash."
And like, Zeke leans over to Jason, like, I think he just burned him.
This is known in human culture as a sick burn.
It works on two levels, because we started out in waste management.
We almost died.
Yeah. Earth is destiny, I guess.
I have lived for 90 whole days, and I thought there were only 3 things to experience. And his little arm turns to face out in the docking bay, looking at like these nebulae and stars, and he says, I wonder how many more things I will experience in another 90 days.
Probably loneliness. And no, because probably loneliness is like kick it out into space.
We shall see, little one. If you find yourself adrift, please call.
I remember when I woke up an hour ago, I was feeling these same kinds of questions. You'll find your way eventually.
And I was just going to say, and Ned says, when we encounter each other again, may we both not exist.
The crane arm elevates off the ground and flies into space, and you hear him muttering to himself, what a strange little man. And with that, everybody, Corey, roll me a d4.
Will do. Any modifiers on this one, or just straight up and down?
I'm gonna say we're gonna say -2 for this because you guys had a really good experience with the crane arm.
Okay.
Well, look good.
Beautiful.
1. Hey.
Yeah. All right, and Adam, that is Ned.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna roll another Dexploration. You guys are now alone in this docking bay, and there is something billowing here. Something billowing and protective, and I want to know what it is.
Billowing and protective.
Billowing and protective.
Okay, that's but protective at the same time. So I'm imagining an exhaust chute of some kind, or like a chute through which fumes and like fuel is maybe dispersed, but one that is clearly like a vulnerable part of the ship, so it's like extra reinforced. The point it might sort of like be seemingly more intact than the rest of the ship.
if you were to say fire a couple of torpedoes in there, would it blow up like a Death Star?
So I'm sorry, Adam. Just to make sure I understand you, it's just an exhaust vent that's billowing out smoke.
Billowing smoke of some kind, and it's protective, or maybe I'm kind of like alighting this one too much. It's protective because like it is very heavily reinforced. Seems like one of the more secure parts of the ship, one that might have like survived like whatever like ravages of time have like turned apparently our rug covered space hookah lounge into an open vent.
Yeah, actually, I think that works really well. So you do see this this vent, which appears to be coming upward from the lower floors. It's venting out directly into space, but there are little offshoots of this main vent that are actually coming into the docking bay itself. If somebody wants to make a hardware roll for me, I can tell you a little bit more about this vent, or you guys can just make other plans from here.
I'm tempted to reinvest pips and see if Ned can figure things out, but I may have angered the dice gods so drastically they'll give me 2 ones. But
there's no way they'd give you 2 ones again.
Yeah, it's impossible.
It's never happened before. Statistically, bizarre things never happen in tabletop games. I'm sorry. What's that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, what are the odds? What are the chances? 25%.
Did you actually look up the odds?
I mean, so on each die it's 25%. When you add another die to the situation, it gets a little wonky. But
yeah, I passed math in high school, I swear. Anyway, I guess eventually, yeah.
I'm not very good at the money hall problem. My brain doesn't like it.
It was like 3 times, but I got it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to roll 2 hardware die to figure out like where that leads and sort of like more structural information about the vent.
So much faith in you right now.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, that's a big boy roll.
Yeah. So, Adam, this vent, assuming you can get rid of the smoke that obscures whatever else might be in there, as well as the potential carcinogens that might negatively damage the electronics on your EVA suit, this vent likely leads up to the broadcast tower. All of these vents are going in one direction up to what would be like cardinal directions aren't a thing in space, obviously, but the top of the ship, where the broadcast tower would be, if anywhere else. So you're fairly certain that if you found a way to clear this vent out and navigate it, it would probably take you at least close to where you're trying to go.
Okay, that's good news. Only question is, how do we clear it out? And like, I'm just thinking from like both a role-play and a mechanical perspective, that is, I'm guessing, going to be some kind of physical exertion. Is it a question of like, from what trash basically in it, or
we have load points, so we can just come up with something we just have on hand.
Like maybe
you
like
just gotta tell me what you want to do about it.
Yeah, how's it blocked again? Sorry.
It's not currently blocked. That's maybe your problem, is that it's going all the way up and it's filled with all of this stuff. If you found a way to block it down where you're at, you could enter it further up and it would just be an easy climb.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are surrounded by trash, or in refuse and like space detritus.
You just want to shove trash down this hole?
I want to
go wrong.
I'm gonna say that I got like reinforced workers gloves, like electronically reinforced workers gloves to make this go like faster and better.
Okay, cool. So tags would be durable, and let's see, reinforced workers gloves.
Let's call them powered gloves. Power gloves.
Power gloves.
Nice.
Nintendo
Cybernetic.
Power gloves.
It's so bad.
So here's here's the negative tag.
Yeah.
They're probably not super tactile. They're very durable. They're very heavy duty. They're meant to
Clumsy.
Yeah, exactly. Clumsy would be the word. So if you find yourself trying to do anything with these powered gloves, that'll be a -1.
Cool.
To that roll.
Things like using it like a computer or like tactile things kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that totally works. So take a +1. It will be an exertion roll if you guys are just trying to roll stuff into this event. Who's going to make the roll? I assume Corey?
Can we do like assist or backup actions here too? Is that kind of a allowed system?
Can I convince the robotic arm to help us?
The robotic arm is gone. He is pursuing.
He went into space.
He is pursuing the 5th experience. But
the 5th experience is Jason Holman. Just
the thing is, that sounds like a science fiction film from like the early '90s, like the 5th experience.
Right. strong Fifth Element vibes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the arm is gone. As far as an assist, do we have that in this game, Corey? I actually am not sure.
I don't know if we do necessarily. I think I use just like +1s to like just as if somebody like you had an item that was helping. That's kind of how I was quantifying it. I think that makes the most sense.
I like that. So if all 3 of you are doing it, Corey, take a +2.
Hell yeah. So I have 1d4 +2. Yeah. Roll 1d4, and I'll add another 2, Taylor.
Okay.
To succeed on this, I'm going to. I actually only need to add 1, but whatever.
Yeah. So in this docking bay, you find yourself actually with a wealth of materials to just basically shove down an air vent to block it. In addition to all of the junk and we'll call it just like waste material for all of these spaceships that are docked, you find all of these parts. You also find the adhesives to stick them together, and so in using all of these things, right, combining them together, you make this kind of master clog that is down at the bottom of this vent, and you are able to make your way in, if you prefer. I don't want to narrate for you.
I think why not? Again, like, not to be too like fatalistic, I get the sense that, like, as you said, a big portion of this game is eventually our characters might get nuked. But it also sounds like in service of exploration and story building, so I say no risk assessment, onward ho.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
I'm gonna grab these 2 and fly us there.
All right.
Right, and you have fucking rocket boots.
So, Corey, something in these vents is blaring and curious.
Something is blaring. Okay. Yeah, let's get weird with it. I think that the thing that is blaring here is the first living thing that we've seen. And what I think it is are like these like Nautilus style like what do you call that shit that sticks to the bottom of boats?
Barnacles?
Barnacles, yeah, like these like barnacles, but they have like almost what looks like a baby's head on it, and they're just like screaming, and they're growing everywhere. Just like these bulbous fixtures that are like screaming.
Horrendous. Okay.
Nice. I'm Corey. I want to say thank you for introducing a Dark Souls boss into this campaign.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, if there was one thing this game was missing, it was a Bloodborne monster. So You are all flying up. Corey, make sure you mark one of the uses for your boots.
Yeah.
And you come across these things. They are like nothing you've ever seen. I'll go ahead and beat you all to the punch here. This is not on any of your database. It's not in any of the information that you've learned about. This would be new. Oh yeah. This would be something that's new, something that has probably popped up in the last little bit here, and you're not sure what it is. You unfortunately don't have a lot of time to figure it out, because as the cards determined, these things are curious, and as you are making your way up, you see their little eyes start to come down, and they start coming off the walls in these attached forms, trying to attach onto you, trying to figure out what you actually are. What do you do?
That's a fucking nightmare, Taylor.
Yeah, right? You made it bad, I made it worse.
For hostile, that would be almost easier to deal with. But the fact that the screaming infant barnacles, space barnacles, form a greater entity, and that entity really wants to get to know you like the most boring person at a cocktail party cornering you. Like, that's even worse.
That's
like
incredible.
it's wow. It's like H.P. Lovecraft who won't leave you alone after smoking too much.
Oh my god.
That sounds like.
I didn't tell you what happened at the end? Not really.
Yeah. No, I don't want to hear new racial slurs for Polish people that died out in the 1920s. Thanks, HP.
Stop telling me about your cat. It makes me so uncomfortable. Please stop talking about your cat.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, you're not an empath. You're just kind of self-centered.
If you weren't empath, you'd realize how much of a dick you're being right now. Anyway.
I'll let one of these guys take the reins because I'm fucking I think that Trudge is fucking like terrified right now.
Well,
how close is it?
I mean, at this point, they are like on you.
All right.
I'm narrating this to the point where like these things have fallen in these lines across this pipe.
Such a cool image.
You guys are at the point where you are about to hit these lines. I just want to know what you do.
Yeah, I think almost like Ned starts screaming back at the babies that are screaming at us, and I think he eventually starts screaming, "Stop!"
Assuming you're not stopping, Corey.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm gonna burn a load point to engage the defensive mechanism of my Eva suit and electrify everything around us.
Hell yeah!
I could also imagine Trudge saying, "We can't stop here. This is screaming space baby particle country."
I wrote that.
Adam, lots of potential for this to go bad if you fail, but highly recommend putting some extra dice into. This sounds like it'll probably be. I don't want to just spam.
Sciences?
Yeah, I don't want to spam hardware, so let's go sciences.
I'll just put one into sciences and use the other +5. And then I get a +1 just because it's the equipment I have?
Correct, yes.
Alright. So +6. That's okay, it's okay. I still have a +6, so it's still a 7.
Still got it.
I just lose that die.
Okay. And so with that, Drudge and Ned, you both feel this wave of electric energy come over your circuitry, and for a moment you are very worried that this is going to short out all of your circuits as well. Thankfully, Ezekiel finds the right frequency for this where it hits organic matter but not the electronics in your suits. All my circuits, yes, 1000%.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. What was I going to say? Several of these things continue to hang on as you continue ascending up this shaft. They are screaming, not necessarily out of terror, but it just seems like that's their main way of communicating. Probably another 100 feet up, the last one of them falls off, but this piercing that's been with you since the beginning of the adventure is now louder than it's ever been before. And it's a combination of static and feedback, in which you swear you can almost hear something intelligible, but as soon as you try to grab onto it, your brain just melts away. It is now at a point where it's hard to focus on anything. It's hard to stay focused on anything. At the top of this shaft, there is another airlocked door with a what's the word? Like a porthole entrance that you have to like unscrew, like in a ship. I am going to give one last challenge here. You hear a small pop come from deep, deep below you. It's dark enough down here that you can't quite see what it is, but the sound would indicate that the hole that you made that plugged this shaft at the bottom has broken free. And this smoke, this fire, is now burning up towards you.
I'm going to try and engage another emergency defensive system of my Ava suit, using my final load point to engage the buoyant airbag system, almost like an avalanche pack would have, to fill the cavity below us to prevent any of the smoke from reaching us.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and let's have you roll. Let's have you roll sciences again, I think.
All right, we'll put a pip into there, and give me a +4.
Okay.
Well, +5 because of the equipment.
Yeah.
It's an 8.
As Adam rolls that,
yeah.
As a peek behind the curtain, I'm curious. As somebody who's run this game, would you consider this one encounter or two encounters, or?
Right now I'm thinking that I'm going to roll it as one encounter, but with a plus added to it, since it's been a few things in very quick succession.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I rolled an 8.
Okay, gotcha. One sec here.
Oh, no worries.
Lost our Roll20 page.
Yeah.
No, all right. Well, I'm just gonna have to take your word for it then. Okay, cool. So you roll an 8, and so to be
flying.
You were actually trying to block off the smoke here, or you were just trying to get the door open?
Block off the smoke. Basically, create a new plug, but higher up, closer to us.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I think that you take the refuse. I think you actually take some of these barnacles as well, and you affix them into this thing as well. For whatever reason, they appear to be fireproof, which is maybe an interesting detail. They seem to have gotten along fine here. They actually seem to prefer the smoke.
Yeah, because that's where they were here all along. There was smoke here before we showed up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they are baby.
They want the smoke.
They're little volcano barnacles.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then with that, I'm going to say that you guys managed to get through the porthole and up into the next room. So Let's go ahead and I'm gonna have let me get Ned to roll 1d4. This is gonna be with a +2.
Okay. 1d4 with a +2. That's. I'm kind of liking my odds.
Famous last words.
2% before a fall. Yeah. Well, enjoy the fruits of my overconfidence.
Yeah.
Apparently, I should be a trash compactor.
What actually did you roll? I still don't have the
Oh.
chat window back.
You got a 3. You rolled a 1 with the +2. A 3.
Okay, the lowest.
That's an encounter die, though, right?
Yeah, it would be 1d4.
Yeah, 1d4. He rolled a 1 and got with a +2. It's a 3.
Okay, cool. That's actually not super bad. So everybody just take 3 off of the energy for your suits.
Mm-hmm. And you said our maximum energy is. You said it's
whatever on your suit, next to your suit. These bars.
okay. Yeah. Thank you.
I can tell you how much we've taken so far.
It's been 7, right?
Yes.
I got 8.
Really? Did you lose 1 extra for some reason?
Maybe. Did you guys take that extra when I shot us out the fucking window?
1 extra on that? Maybe not, no.
Yeah.
I thought that was just for you, I think.
Oh no, that was
Probably
all at 8, so.
Okay, yeah, never mind. There's the one that I missed then.
Yeah, my suit's looking pretty shot through. I'm assuming all of ours are. It's not like our characters might have a cognizance of what that means, but just visually speaking, the suit is looking like it's been nuked by solar radiation, covered in exhaust. Like the worst graffiti artist in town went on this thing.
Well, I think that there are signs of that degradation that even your characters would notice. Most notably, it's getting harder to do things. Like the suit is just not holding up. It's not handling the same way that it used to, right? So doing more complicated stuff becomes a little bit harder. We don't have that baked into the mechanics, although Corey, we might want to make a note there. But narratively speaking, I mean that does end up being the case.
Okay.
So
Question.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend 2 of my neurons to recover 2 corpse energy.
Okay.
What does that look like in fiction?
Honestly, I would have told you to tell me, but if you're asking me to narrate that, I think that what it looks like is I think it's actually just like rest. I think that as you guys get through this porthole, you have a moment to breathe, which looking back on like the last hour, 2 hours, however long it's been, you probably haven't had much of them. And as you do, I think that you start noticing little pieces of the circuitry in your suit that's been damaged, and you begin repairing them. I think that's what a neuron looks like for me. If you have another idea for it, though, I'd be interested to hear.
No, that works for me.
Okay, cool. So you guys make your way into the room above this porthole, and much as you expected, Ned or Ezekiel, who made that roll? I forget. This does lead to the broadcast tower.
I think it was me. Yeah.
Okay,
Ned,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So Ned, much as you expected, this does lead to what you assume to be the broadcast tower. It consists of one very large spire, which from your vision, you don't see the world the same way regular people do. This appears to be casting a net almost over the entire ship, an electromagnetic field over the entire ship. You get the impression that this is a broadcast center, both in the sense that it communicates to the external world. It also handles transmissions internally as well. At the base of this large spire, there is a large command center filled with various consoles that are all blinking rapidly. And finally, I'm gonna have Ezekiel tell me there is something. Yeah. There is something in here that is overgrown and malevolent.
No
Overgrown and malevolent? Well, only more of those barnacle things, but the adult advanced form.
Oh, awful!
Nice. That is horrible. I love it.
We have made Dark Souls, guys.
Yeah, this is now just a Dark Souls RPG.
Yeah, I love how we basically made Dead Space Souls. Bloodborne Space, like a weird cross between Dark Souls and Dead Space. Anyway, let's deal with this eldritch horror that's screaming at us.
Man, we're even kind of a twisted form of undead. Like,
yeah. Fuck. Oh no, we're fucking hollowed. Oh my god. Like the neurons?
So this is just
neurons are cool.
This is what I'm getting. We made a Dark Souls RPG. Okay, cool.
So not to derail us too long, but you know how there's like the Fermi paradox that like kind of like calculates what's the likelihood of life being out there. We've done something similar for like From Software, because like there has to be an equation for like an X amount of time until a game designer eventually makes a From Software game.
Incredible.
Got it. It's about 2.5 hours.
Apparently,
it's a great Miyazaki filter.
It's what, 3 games? 4 games?
Yeah.
Anyway, Taylor, please cut off our riffing.
No. The riffing is just giving me time to plan. This is phenomenal. So I think that contrary to what you were expecting when you started out on this this dangerous journey, that the screaming in your ears was going to be something coming from the broadcast tower.
Oh.
You thought that this was a signal that you were hearing, but in fact what you were hearing was just this thing being amplified by the tower.
Oh my god.
It is piercing beyond all recognition. You are looking at the back of this thing. It is hunched over this spire, just clawing at the walls of it. And as it does, its fingertips wear away, and it leaves more of these barnacles posted on the side. It's almost like a clumsy finger painting kind of thing. And then it turns, and it sees the 3 of you seated there, taking your time repairing your electronics, and it screams. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I definitely extend my hand in the same way for a handshake like I did.
Well, we'll see how that goes when we get back. Next time on TGS Games.
Yeah, we'll see you guys 10 minutes. Everybody, feel free to use the bathroom, get whatever. And then
nobody's allowed to use the bathroom.
You can't use the bathroom.
I'm going to hold it in.
Roll for Constitution save.
Oh, we're nerds.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
We are. When you're in space, nobody can hear you pee. I'm trying to remember it.
When you're in space, you can't tell if you're peeing. Also true.
Corey, I also love that you brought up like the Aliens franchise, because I had also, speaking of obscure lore, had just dove into the Alien franchise lore and like
messy, huh?
Messy, but also like realized how almost like perfect of a horror film the first movie is, as in all of its aspects, and then they immediately did like cheesy, kitschy action franchise.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, it's like this was like you got that friggin' Swiss weirdo H.R. Geiger to do the design, and like it deals with questions of like there's a whole lot of mystery, like what's his face turns out to be an android, like it's a perfect isolation, and then like 2 films later, it's like I don't know, I don't want to describe it. It's completely.
It's one of the most perfect dramas ever made. Yeah, it's crazy. They did a horror movie followed by an action movie followed by a legitimate drama.
Yeah. I haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean, I got the Wayland Yutani Corporation tattooed right here, baby.
Oh shit! I did not even catch that.
That's a stick and poke my friend did when I was wasted.
How long ago was this tattoo stick and poke?
So long ago. I don't know, 5-6 years. Back when I was drinking. Yeah, we're actually playing the cinematic campaigns on every other Tuesday on Foundry. I don't know if you've played the TTRPG for Alien, but it's fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. The stress system in it, I mean, it's a free league game. They pretty much only make good games as far as I'm concerned.
Nice.
And yeah, it's I don't know, it's like pitch perfect, dude.
That sounds awesome, because you mentioned the stress system, and that's the kind of game that does need a very good, like, mental, like, duress system. Like, it seems like it has to be core to the mechanics.
It does, and it's cool because it's not a stress system that creates like a downward spiral. Having some stress is actually good, because so it's like to represent like alacrity in like those situations where shit gets intense. Like so it adds dice to your die pool, which give you a chance at success. However, the stress dice that it adds are the only dice that have the ability to cause you to panic. So if you roll a face hugger on it, which only one side has a face hugger on it, you'll panic. So like you want a little bit, but not too much. And then the more you have, the chances of your panicking going disastrous is increased.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that, because that is like a really good sort of like transference of like real life phenomena to mechanics. Because like if you've ever been really stressed or seen people who are really stressed, you're not like when you're in a state of consistent stress, like the Alien thing would be. Like you see this with like paramedics. Like you're not like constantly freaking out. It's like you're biting down on it, and then like something trips up somebody. It happens in war zones. It's like something, the exact wrong situation happens, and somebody panics or freaks out. But they're not constantly losing their shit. Yeah. That's
how it fucking plays at the table, dude. Like, it's very cool. And like all their shit is like loaded on Foundry. I don't know. That's kind of the reason I'm like able to play around with Foundry right now, because we're running that every other Tuesday.
That's sick. Yeah, I would love to join you all, except lo and behold, I have another tabletop commitment then.
Totally, I get it. We're doing that, and then me and Taylor's about to, I don't know, we're gonna buckle in and finish his L5R campaign on through Thursdays. So we're about 75% way through we're like a year and a half into those right now. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to afterwards finish up my Cyberpunk campaign, and then we're going to be starting new campaigns.
That's wild. I've been there. There's always like campaign switch season. It's funny because I have somehow found myself in this point in time in three different tabletop like groups.
Yeah.
And so like it's always funny. Like it's interesting. Like the vibe shifts in interesting ways when like someone becomes a DM and the other person and someone like pulls back. Like there's a certain degree of like interesting. Like it's cool seeing how that dynamic changes whenever this is your game. Like how people engage with and shit like that. And basic stuff, you know. But like it's really awesome to see how that happens between groups of people, because there's so much like storytelling games, and having like interesting combination of friends who might never have met before like do this stuff together is one of the coolest things.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like the dynamic change just adding one person does to a group is like wild.
Yeah.
And we've been really blessed to only have had like pretty decent experience, well, barring our first group, pretty decent experiences. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I'm gonna run a fantasy game next, which is wild. I'm not like a big fantasy guy. I'm much more on the sci-fi bent. But I've been like, I want to spread my wings a little bit as far as what game I want to run. And so I've been trying to find a game that like fits all the aesthetic and like design requirements I want, because like one of our players isn't super big on involved mechanics.
Uh-huh.
I like having something a bit crunchier to bite into, but I want it a bit lighter on the GM side. Adam likes theory crafting and shit, so like it's been but I found a game that I think is going to like, because I've also been like, I want a dark fantasy game. I want something that is allows the players to feel like epic. I'm not a huge D&D guy, so I'd like to stay away from that. Pathfinder's just too much choice for, I think, some people, because it's like, hey, here's 700 pages of feats, make your decision, you get one.
Great for some people, terrible for others.
Yeah, it's like it's really awesome, but boy, can it be a lot. So I found this game. I can't. It's another free league game. Because I've also been like, I want something with like Nordic inspiration or something. Yeah, like I've been like something with that, like that kind of folklore, like trolls and shit like that. But Symbaroum.
Shit, I played Symbaroum. Yeah.
Did you like it? It looks fun.
It's an interesting mechanic. Like this was the starting, because like overwhelmingly, obviously, like a bunch of tabletop normies, all of the campaigns have been and have almost exclusively played D&D, except this one campaign, this one table started our sort of Genesis game was Symbaroum. I thought it was interesting. As you mentioned, you have a friend who, or you would consider our friends not liking games with heavy mechanics. Symbaroum has much less heavy mechanics than a lot of other systems. Not to sort of like put this one to the side for too long, Corey. Are you guys planning on going back on stream and resuming the campaign? Because I should probably make dinner right now.
We were going to play for like one more encounter, I think, is the idea.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do that? We can go without you if need be.
No, how long is the encounter?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I can stick around if it's not too long. It's a question of like, will it be on until 9 or will it be on until 11? In which case, my hyperglycemia is going to crash me to the floor.
Oh yeah, no.
Give me one quick second, Taylor.
Yeah. We'll just want to keep it short for Adam. Okay.
I keep getting kicked out of Roll20.
Oh shit, I did too.
Don't know why.
Because it knows I'm done with it.
Yeah, it knows you're fucking fed up.
I have stuck with it for so long.
Yeah, you try to defend
I defend
them.
it, and I do. Like, I mean, like, part of me still does, because like it is. Like, I would love to play Foundry for everything, but there won't be a module for everything. There is a fucking CSS character sheet for fucking nearly everything on Roll20.
Got that going for it, but
yeah,
if you end up being able to make your own, no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty frustrating to be playing the game and then have it entirely fall apart. Not because someone's internet went out, but just because Roll20 shit the bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had a lot of stuff.
That's frustrating. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, like I've kind of like grown up on and got used to Fantasy Grounds, but that has like so many limitations in terms of like customization compared to something like Roll20.
I'm ready for my big boy VTT. Taking the training wheels off. I'm gonna learn fucking Foundry despite the fact that it's like climbing a brick wall.
Yeah, I'm giving up on Roll20. It's just I keep getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Ah, shit, yeah. I lost Taylor too.
Still in. Well, kicked me out as well. I'm logging back again.
Well, worst case scenario, everyone got D4 on them. The old-fashioned way. I got my wormwood dice.
Yeah,
That-
a friend of mine got me some.
I know. Fucking $100 dice set that I never use.
And here's the thing: if I was gonna write a sitcom about tabletop gaming as if such an audience for a thing existed, I would make the custom die company called Wormwood. Because what else would you name it?
Yeah.
I've got like a good friend of mine got me a metallic die for my birthday, which is awesome of him. Zach, and it's a small chance you were watching this. Thank you, bud.
I'm gonna swallow mine. It's rose quartz. I'm gonna be rose quartz.
Is that gonna be? I almost wonder, like, if you run a series of characters that name themselves off of the first piece of information. To be fair, they encounter this is like you. I'm sure you played Disco Elysium, right, Corey?
Yes.
Yeah, I've read him Harry Dubois becoming convinced that his name was, I think like the name of a disco star he heard the first time he got out of his like drug-induced stupor. Yeah. Similar to that. But yeah, also I have some like if you're looking for just like ambient or like quasi mood music that like fits the setting, I have an artist I can recommend you. I don't even know how relevant that is, but like
Yeah, me too. Taylor Lannon.
My man makes fucking Adam. Bring us back on this so I can fucking toot your horn. I need to explain to you the insanity of playing in a home game with fucking Taylor, because my man makes his own OST for his campaigns. Including character themes that then he makes like deviations from for mood.
He like
It's
drops
pretty
him into a minor key or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like there's 3 characters each of us, and I think each of our specific tracks that he's written probably have 2 variations. Like more intense ones and more chill ones.
Yeah.
Where like certain pieces are either missing or toned down, or like other things are a little just tweaked. Like it's the tempo's a little. I don't know if you changed the tempo actually.
So yes, actually, with the really sad, somber versions of all of your character themes, the tempo's been significantly slowed to give it kind of like this dragging effect. And then what I use is I take the MIDI file for like the main melody of it, and I just put it into it's like a cloud drum thing to give like this really ambient.
Yeah, I have noticed that part of it.
Yeah.
Where everything kind of has almost like a reverberation, but as if it's like being played from a massive orchestra in a big room. But also still quiet.
That being said, I will take your ambient music recommendations because I do not do that.
It is not. I do not want to ever interrupt the maestro at work. I would not want to, ever get in the way of Taylor's creative process. Being only slightly facetious about that, but
okay. First of all, no. I do actually want to take this note to let listeners know that although the track you're listening to is very simple, it is also something that I made this afternoon. Because I realized that I didn't have any space sounding shit. And so I just basically threw on like a very ominous sounding VST and just played a bunch of chords for like 5 minutes and then threw it on here. Which is literally just to say that making your own TTRPG music is insanely easy and you should do it because it's awesome.
Check out our YouTube, and you can watch videos of Taylor doing it, and he'll explain how to do it.
We used to have a series called Background Ballads where I would go into this process. We're going to bring that back at some point when we're not play testing all the goddamn time. But until then, you'll have to peruse our YouTube for that.
Okay, cool. So we're working on a time frame. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then that's we should go ahead and get back into it then.
Yeah.
You guys are in the middle of a this large room. There's a central command console with kind of this circular railing that goes around it. It's elevated probably about 10 feet or so off of the ground, and there are these ramps leading up to it in the 4 cardinal directions, leading up to the spire in the center. This thing, however, is towering. It is approximately 30 feet tall, just comprised of thousands of these screaming, horrible faces. And it lets out all at once this ear-piercing drone, and it lunges at you. What do you guys do?
I first roll to save from experimental ambient noise rock. But in all seriousness, I probably just like immediately reflexively just like pull back, almost like the like I'm using a part of my pseudo capacity I haven't even like wasn't aware of before in terms of like memory and recollection falling into place. This is probably usage of a maybe a remaining pip. To sort of like, or maybe it's a pip, maybe it's energy, like you qualify it, to like, almost like spring myself physically back, like out of the way of this thing.
Yeah, that's that'll be a pip for sure, and that'll be an exertion roll on your part.
It's cowardly and craven, but for some deeply ironic reason, Ned wants to preserve his existence.
I understand now.
Yeah.
It's only me who should be alive. I've grown.
Also for our
character, yeah.
Also for our viewers, I am sorry. Roll20 is having some issues, so we don't actually have our dice roller in front of us. We're using the honor system. Just Adam, let me know whatever you rolled.
Yes, and that's just one die. It's a 1d4. Mm-hmm. No modification. Let me roll this caltrop-looking thing.
Hell yeah.
Honor system, I got a 1.
Not great, my man. Okay, so yeah, make sure you remove that die. And I think that the way that narratively that looks is you try to jump back and you underestimate the strain that's already been put on your suit, and you underestimate the reach of this creature. And
oh god.
It catches your entire body. Its hand is like the size of your torso, and it catches your entire body and just whoosh, and brings you up to its face and just screams as hard as it can, blasting like whatever limbs are sticking out of this hand. They are just blown backwards with the sheer force of this thing.
Which is a real shame that it's completely focused on that, because Zeke is just like arms limp, running up to its shins, looking to hug it while engaging the electronic zapper in the suit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think Ned can do anything in this situation, but I'm pretty sure that my corpse or body like looks like one of those like people who stuck in a zero-G preparation chamber. Like I'm being sort of spinning around like my like back in my face. Anyway, that's what's happening is I'm being screamed at by like the penultimate boss of Bloodborne.
If there was skin left on your face, it would absolutely look like the thing in the G-Force deal for sure.
While Adam does his thing, I would like to use his him doing that as cover to sneak on by to the radio tower itself.
Okay.
You would.
Yeah.
I
Adam,
would.
let me get an exertion science roll from you. Corey, let me get a stealth roll from you.
Okay.
On 1d4 plus 5 for a 7.
Okay. What'd you actually roll on?
I get a +1 from Adam
I rolled
doing
a
this.
2 on the die.
Okay, cool. Just making sure it's not a
I was looking for the dice roller.
Right?
I was like, where is it? I rolled a 1, my man. I am going to add it enough to succeed, but
Yeah, that's a 1.
All right. Yeah, just make sure you remove that. You do succeed. So I think that the way this works is Adam or Zeke, you make your way up to this thing's leg. It is purely distracted with the feast in its hands. You hug its leg and activate this security apparatus, and the whole thing just convulses and it drops Ned down to the ground at your side. While all of this is going on, or it turns down to you, Zeke, and roars. And while all of this is going on, Trudge, you have made your way up to that central command console. What would you like to do?
Yeah, cool. I am. They're like conduits and shit running to this thing.
Yeah, that would make total sense.
I'm gonna use one of my load to say that I have like shears or like an electro saw of some kind. I have one load left.
Electro saw. So battery powered.
Heavy?
Yeah, heavy would be good. I'm so bad at tags.
Cumbersome.
But they're a cool idea, though.
Can't use anything that requires 2 hands while we open.
Yeah, two-handed is a good tag for sure.
That can be very funny when applied to certain things.
Yeah, I want to take a. Yeah. I want to take like a saw. Want to find like a high voltage high voltage conduit and saw it. So I'm gonna do something.
Okay.
So, do I need to roll anything to saw this thing in half, or?
So it's not going to immediately saw in half. You are going to need to like hold to it. It's going to be a more difficult cut. So yeah, it will be an exertion roll for sure.
Okay, and is this a +1 on it?
Yes, with the item that is a +1.
Okay, that is a fucking another 1, my man.
Oh my god. Okay. Did you have enough that you could do like an auto success on it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. What were you trying to do?
I wanna take this. I'm doing a long-winded thing, so we can go to these other people while I do this in the interim.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ned, you have just landed on the ground next to Zeke, who is still hugging this thing's leg. The leg now begins to pick up. Zeke, are you holding on to this?
Yeah, in fact, the electricity is like kind of latching me on because I'm getting a little zapped as well, and I'm just smiling at Ned while I'm being carried away.
And Ned, you see Zeke smile at you as the leg, the barnacles on it, begin to form around his body, sucking them onto the leg itself.
Okay, that I wasn't ready for. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready.
Always keep them guessing. Which one of you would like to go first? What would you like to do?
Ooh. So just lay of the land here. Thruge is working on basically trying to do the actual mechanical work of accessing the tower and the communications.
Yeah.
It sounds like. Ezekiel just got absorbed by the Elden Ring boss.
Not
and so
fully,
that really,
but he's in the process.
That really, I think, only leaves me in the position to really try to help Zeke, or also find my forever sweet demise in the embrace of the screaming barnacle monster. So I
seems like an easy answer to me.
Yeah. Again, Ned is not opposed to sacrificing the mechanical for the organic, but for the sake of the story here, I guess I'm going to try to engage in an act of exertion. I do have one exertion die, and I will just try to, in almost like apology for my cowardice, try to get my corpse buddy I've known for approximately 42 minutes out of this thing.
Yeah.
It's your best friend. You can say it.
Yeah. I'm a more reserved AI. I've been resurrected and died too many times to trust. Anyway, I guess, yeah, just roll a D. Does that roll an unassisted 1d4, Taylor?
It would just be if all you've got is a 1 die in it, then yeah, it's 1d4. You can add pips if you've got any left.
Not going to risk it.
Okay.
Honor system?
Hang on. So, I'm sorry, that was a 1?
Go on, Taylor.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with what I was going to say.
Was it a 1? Yeah.
Okay, we're going to resolve that in a sec. I do want to be clear, though. You can add pips to your roll as just +1s each, and you get those back. You don't risk those. You don't risk losing those. The only ones you risk losing are the die that you actually roll, which there needs to be at least 1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good to know. I guess in that case, I probably would have, knowing that sort of like kind of clarity, would have added that 1 to it. Sure. Don't know what it's going to do. Maybe I also get absorbed by, Bloodborne 2 here, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And my intent is to just propel myself, physically grab Zeke off, and almost like push off of this this screaming monster.
Yeah. Very heroic, but not wise.
Yeah.
YOLO.
As you defy all of your programming to save an AI from an organic creature, you are met with just an impossible task. These things are all over him, and as you put your hands around his arms to try and yank him out, as you brace your foot against this creature to try and pull with all your might, you're just finding that you too are getting sucked into this thing. To be clear, neither of you are all the way under yet. But Ezek, what would you like to do?
I mean, it sure feels like I'm all the way under.
You're
because, close. I mean, yeah, and someone's trying to pull me off and it's not working. Sounds to me like there's only one thing to do, is overload the hell out of that defensive shock array and just use it as an offensive weapon. I've got a neuron to burn and 1, 2, 3, 4 pips. So yeah, I'm thinking, okay, sciences or hardware?
It's been sciences every time we've rolled it.
Okay, this will be the one time I actually do put an extra pip into sciences. So we'll take that one off. So +3. If I'm thinking of overloading this shock array to the point where I can't use it anymore after this, can I get another +1 out of it?
Ooh,
that's an interesting thing. So basically, you're just trading equipment for a +1.
Yeah, I'm looking to get extra damage out of it. I'm blowing it up just to
Tell you what,
I don't care if I.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool, nice. Where's my dice roller? There it is. 3 and a 2 for 5 +3, 2. That's a 10.
Right. Yeah. Suffice it to say, it absolutely does work. You let off this giant shock. Which, Ned, you can feel this just vibrating through your entire suit. I'm actually going to say that the effect here is so quote-unquote loud that all 3 of you can feel your electronics being messed with in minor but manageable ways. This thing screams more so than it has been. And the 2 of you are ejected from its leg. You are thrown against the wall. It rears towards you, Zeke, being the one that has damaged it the most thus far, and starts to make its way towards you. Trudge, what are you working on over there?
Yeah, I am. So what Trudge is trying to do is do some wild science shit. I am going to take this conduit, this high voltage conduit, and press it against this radio wire I want to overcharge it. And then basically I want to use this thing's own screams to kind of fucking wreck itself. Yeah.
I like
Okay.
it.
I imagine that's some sort of science thing.
Yeah, let's have you roll science, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to invest one. That's another one. I'm fucking not lying to you. I have gotten
Christ,
3 in a row.
You gotta switch die.
It's my only one.
The only D4.
I do succeed. Well, I got a bag of them hanging around somewhere. I just don't know where they are. I haven't played it at the table in a long time.
I mean, that's fair, yeah.
And these are wormwood die that apparently come pre-cursed, so...
Yeah.
It's
All of our die come pre-cursed.
It's those little quality touches that really make the wormwood difference, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing about the D4, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, I'm sorry. So you did succeed, though, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and remind me again, so you're separating, you're sawing through the conduit still?
I already sawed through the conduit. I'm basically trying to hypercharge this radio tower. I want to have this thing screams kind of wreck itself in some way. It's like equilibrium. I don't know science.
Finding a
Well, my
resonating
character
frequency.
Yeah.
Like, it screams that, like, the more it screams, the more it damages itself. The more it hurts, the more it screams.
You're basically changing the frequency feedback to mess more with the organic life than the electric one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
What he said.
Yeah. So for Ned and for Ned and for Zeke, you two have been thrown against this wall, and this thing rears at you. It places its hands on both of you, sliding you up against the wall right next to its face, and it just screams. And as it does, Trudge reconnects these wires, and it falls apart. It begins disintegrating. These little barnacles begin falling off of its face, falling off of the hands that are holding you against the wall. The two of you slide down to the floor as this thing just disintegrates, shaking and vibrating on the floor and scattering like cockroaches when you turn on a light into the various vents and funnels that exist within this room.
Why?
I'd like to roll 3d4 here. Zeke.
Let's each.
Yeah, Zeke.
Yeah, I'm only trolling.
Yeah, Zeke, roll me a d4 plus 2.
6. I already rolled a 4.
Okay. Minus 6 energy. Ned.
For
Yeah, that's
everyone.
not good. Yeah, that's it for me.
Ned.
I think we're all fucking smoked.
Ned, roll a d4 plus 1.
Ned here. 3?
3.
Actually, 2.
2.
No. Yeah, no. 3.
What did you roll?
Yeah, what
I
did you roll?
rolled a 2 that looked like a 1. I've been so traumatized by 1 that I got another 1. It's a 3.
Okay, cool. It's a 3. So take 3 energy. And Trudge, just roll a d4.
3, which just killed me.
Yeah, I think we're all dead. I think 3 barely kills me. I think 3 barely kills me.
TPK?
Yeah.
We TPK'd, but we did in style.
You did do it in style. And as the three of you lose mobility, you hear these screaming barnacles coming from down the halls, and you hear the opening of a door as something tosses one of the barnacles over to the side and says, if everybody had just stayed in their damn place, then we would be fine right now. And in walks in a person. They walk around this room. They survey what's going on. They say, well, where the hell did it go? And at this point, they see all three of your corpses. And he says, oh, not you three. What the hell did you do to her? I told you. I just needed you to stay where you were supposed to stay. That was it. Okay. Let's start again. And he grabs the three of you and begins dragging all three of you back through the door, back into the room where you began. And that's where we end tonight's session.
Wild.
I don't feel we actually defeated the monster, and that terrifies me.
We just made it somewhat cross.
Yeah.
Adam, if you need to go eat, you are free to skip this section.
Like.
Yeah.
I'm excused to eat. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, do want to give you the floor. First of all, thank you to both of our playtesters for coming in, both of our wonderful Adams. Yeah. This is the part of the stream where we give you guys the floor to plug any projects that you're working on. Adam P., I know that you have stuff to do, so I'm going to let you go first. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you're doing.
Hey, my name's Adam. It's great to join you all back again. I think this is the second genesis of a rule set I've worked through with you all. So it's really cool to be back for this. I find it interesting, really promising. I'm glad we discovered the From Software quotient, a great leap in physics. But yeah, in terms of I've been working on a book about climate change, but that is temporarily on the back burner for the time being as I kind of focus on other stuff. But if, next time I'm on stream, if there's any movements there, I will let you all know and just want to say, and it's awesome to play with you all and hope the viewers liked it.
Every time is a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Cheers. Catch you guys around.
See you later.
Later.
All right. Our cameras are about to go wonky on stream, so everybody just bear with us.
Do we want to debrief on stream?
I am cool doing it on stream if that's something that that y'all are down for.
6-1 half for the other me.
I have a very specific question for Adam. So you noticed something that is on our radar.
How the pip system is very abusable. You could just chill on all of your pips and use them for the one die as you see necessary, and then dump into bonuses, and you're good.
Yeah. Initially, we were going to solve this by having less pips. My question for you, just based off of that, do you think having less than 10 would be not satisfying, not enough to spend?
What's your goal with the pip system?
So the goal is to create a balance. We actually have, I think, a fix that is going to work, but the goal is to create a sense of a dwindling pile, essentially, where you have these pips, they are resources that you can spend, and you can spread them and spend them freely to succeed at first. But the more you spend them, the rarer they become, and now you can't spend them to auto succeed. Now they're invested. So the idea being that the longer your body is around, the harder the game becomes.
So go the other way. Give me more pips, but tie it to energy and don't give them back.
What do you mean?
I'm looking here.
Are you thinking along the same lines of when you pick your corpse, you get varying levels of energy and load? You're saying also put pips in there?
Maybe, or hold on, give me a second to.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make
So
pips energy.
your energy. Here's the thing. I didn't feel pressed until you rolled enough encounters to work on my energy. The energy was the only thing that I felt was a resource that was dwindling. Like once I realized how the pip system worked, it was just luck. How many ones do I roll until I run out of pips? You know?
Yeah.
So if you want it to feel like a dwindling resource, energy's already there. But if you maybe got it. Give me less pips. Leave the system the same, but you can continue to do it. But once you run out of pips, you need to use energy.
So yeah, I mean,
let me run another option by you, because limiting the number of pips is Corey's plan. I have a slightly different one.
I've had a couple in my mind, so I'm curious.
Yeah. There's a few options here.
So the other option, and kind of the one that I find myself leaning to, is that we make a pretty simple change to one of the rules listed on page 6 of the book, where it says skills cannot have any more than 3 dice assigned at any given time.
Right, which doesn't matter because I only want 1 at any given time.
And that's the thing. I'm actually in favor of changing that to any more than 3 pips assigned at any given time, which means you could have 1d4 plus 2, 2d4 plus 1, or 3d4 plus 0. Which I think
sorry, you said 3 pips at any given time?
Yes. Which
like
makes
total, even counting ones assigned to skills that you're rolling.
Correct.
Yes, so you could like any skill you're rolling.
You'd have to be very explicit in how you word that.
Yeah.
Sure. But now the way you give me a second. So 3d4. Now, if you do that, you're going to have the same rate of dwindling, I think is the thing.
You'll have more dwindling.
You think? So, go ahead, explain that. I haven't quite grasped my idea.
Because you'll be encouraged to put more die into any one skill to succeed. And if you're rolling more die, your chances of rolling a 1 go up by 25%.
Sounds elegant on paper.
The other thing that makes me really like it, and I'd be interested in getting your guys' opinions on this as players. Because I noticed this during last week's playtest. I certainly noticed it as a GM this playtest. Up until the end, where you guys were actually running out of pips, you just auto passed everything.
Right.
I don't know if that was fun or not. It was definitely challenging as a GM, but if you
I could tell Adam hadn't figured it out yet, as you guys kind of laid out for him at the very end, how to use pips right. So he was kind of experiencing it as he should have.
Yeah. And what I like about this change from 3 dice to 3 pips is that whether it's 1d4 plus 2, whether it's 2d4 plus 1, whether it's 3d4, there is a chance of failure.
Sure.
No matter what.
It's an elegant system. I'm curious to see how quickly. I don't know. Is there an optimal way to play that? I guess you could figure it out.
I'm sure
there
is.
I don't really think there is.
I mean, there always is. Like, there's people are going to figure out a way to game any system, but I don't know.
Regardless, and you know what? I'm not sure how much it matters because I think there is. I think you play it right down the middle is the highest odds, but it was the safest odds. You consistently win and consistently don't lose as many. The more we talk about it, the better it gets. It's a very risk reward one way or the other. You can more guarantee your stuff, but you have greater risk. You can let the numbers sort it out, but you can save all your dice so you don't lose pips. I like it. I think you might have to just play test it a bit and see if 10 is the right amount. I don't know if 10 will still be the right amount, but
that's true.
It wasn't this time, so
regardless.
yeah, exactly. It wasn't this time.
I actually think we need to overhaul. This is what I actually agree with you, Taylor. I think that is the change we need to make. But I also think we need to make the change of lowering the pip count to something like 7.
Yeah.
And I think we want to encourage rolling more dice, even though it is more dangerous.
Yeah.
If you really want to focus on the idea of people shifting bodies and running out of energy, that's
Correct.
going to be a very good way to do it, because as much as it doesn't necessarily feel good as a player, because you've given me so much agency over how I can roll dice, I just have to accept the fact that I will drain this body. That is a point of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's inherent. I actually think I have a solution there too.
Okay, but
Actually, go on. Go on. We can talk about that later.
Well, so we were talking about energy drain, and that actually, I wanted to get both of your thoughts as players, because obviously I didn't officially drain your guys' energy until literally the very end of the campaign. I know that last week, it happened probably 3/4 of the way through. It was a little bit quicker. That being said, I felt like I was throwing encounter after encounter at y'all, and I still only managed to get your energy down at the very end of the thing. Did it feel like a dwindling resource for you as players?
No,
I don't think we were rolling encounter die.
Here's the problem with that is because I'd never encountered running out of that and getting a new corpse. I never interact with energy at all.
Yeah.
I don't do anything with energy. It doesn't affect anything. Having low energy doesn't hurt me. Like, yeah, I guess getting into a new body is one thing, but I didn't do that until the end of the session. So part of what Corey dropping the pip system down lower and draining energy faster that way might encourage that system to be a little bit more engaging, because right now, because I never got to a new body, it feels like it didn't do anything at all, honestly.
I'll say this from when I ran my playtest last week. The one thing I noticed is I think I ran energy at encounter dice about at the rate you did for the first half of the game, and then in the second half of the game, I doubled down on rolling encounter dice and did them a lot more for littler things. And I found that running this game, that rolling the encounter die is integral to it. And I think in a big way, rolling dice in this game is integral in a way that a lot of TTRPGs argue against. I think that we need to codify the idea that you should roll early and often, both dice and encounter dice. It should be a frequent thing.
Oh, you did? We didn't re-roll any dice. Players can expend 1 point of corpse energy in order to re-roll on a fair build check. After every encounter, the player rolls 1d4 encounter die, which automatically energy. Blah, blah, blah. We didn't highlight that, in which case that might have felt a little bit more like it was a resource that I could use.
Well, here was the thing. You
didn't need to.
Yeah, you didn't need to for a solid 80% of the play.
Well, and so here's so I think Corey's right. Drop pips down. You know what? Go extreme with it, just to experiment and find out. Just to find out. Even if you 7's the right amount, go to 5.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Just to see what happens, and then change this dice system. 3 pips per roll. 2 dice, one, that's perfect. And then make sure people are aware of the reroll ability so that they interact with energy. And then I don't know if this was intentional or not. We missed any tags on my load equipment, so I was just using it all willy-nilly.
Which does tell me that, Taylor, we're absolutely right. We need to have that book made up of examples, because tags work great for me, but you had a harder time with them, which tells me that it's very dependent on player and
very much. Yeah. No, I mean that was one of the things that that I know that you really glommed onto from your time with PBTA. It was not something that I loved. It wasn't something that I really dealt with. and you.
It was something that I remember. I think is similar to how, and Corey knows I come back to this game a million times every time because I love it and hate it, and I understand why some people really can't glom onto it. Is Mutants and Masterminds. Their entire system is based on keywords and tags. You know, like everything is up to your imagination. How you build your characters based on what those things can do based on these keywords and tags, and what they're positive, they're negative. And I loved it because of how modular it was and how flexible it was. But until you really, I spent hours reading that book, and until you can grasp it and get on how funky the rules sound, sometimes it can be overwhelming and difficult to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was also going to.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like if we're doing notes right now, just I noticed that like when Adam rolled 3 4s, that should have felt cooler than it was. And I think that we can do something there with something that I messaged to you that is also going to affect encouraging people rolling more die. I think for every degree of 4 that you get over that first 4, you should get like a neuron awarded to you or have something. Yeah.
That makes me want to roll more dice, which is risky.
Yep.
And because I got 1 neuron the whole time. Like, I don't know, like their neurons are
another
cool.
thing.
But okay, again, even I think a better thing of lowering the pip amount, because now, because I'm interacting with energy, I want to re-roll dice. I have neurons that I'm motivated to get and use to preserve my pips and my energy because they're good at doing that. You know,
it's more.
This is
more carrot and less stick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More carrot, less stick, but you don't get carrot unless you don't have carrot. You don't care about getting carrot unless you don't have carrot. You know, like. When in this where I can just dump all my pips into succeeding, I don't. It feels like nothing. There's no risk reward until we're down to nothing.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about the neuron, right? Because in this game you get neurons solving mysteries, which we didn't really go that much into, right? There were a couple of attempts at having these mysteries answered that, I don't know, I as a GM felt like didn't much go anywhere. Maybe that's more on me trying to.
They felt like they had a very similar problem that Caravan identities had, where if I focused on it, it became a gamified thing that I could try and talk you into any dumb interaction being me focusing on my mystery. And I didn't want to do that. You know, like, some people might like to do that, but I don't get my jollies off bullying you into giving me neurons. You know, like
that's not true. You absolutely do.
That's a lie.
Not in this game. I do an L5R.
I do an L5R. That's different.
But that's because that game has stakes. Shit matters in that game. I'm trying to win.
So I have a couple notes on that. And I think that there is the easiest solution, and based on what Adam said, the one that like I'm like, ooh, actually maybe that is the way. We remove it.
Sure.
If we have another way to acquire neurons,
you saying neuron? Oh, and the mystery system, you mean?
Yeah.
That was in my mind, but I didn't know how integral to the game you wanted it to be.
I mean, I like the idea that it encourages exploration, but it doesn't encourage exploration.
No, it doesn't.
Narratively, right? We want something attached to the corpse, and I feel like the mystery was kind of supposed to be the narrative connection between like the AI and the physical body, but I'm not actually sure in a game that consists of so much corpse hopping that's even necessary. I don't.
Yeah.
Especially
it's a neat idea.
Yeah, especially.
But you already do it with the corpse that I'm getting. Whether it's
Yeah.
a bust diva, self-sealing backsuit, hardwire timer, like do something more there. Add like its energy and load. That's great. Actually, hold on. So load's kind of weird too, right? It's just like get out of jail free cards. Come up with an explanation in terms of equipment that you can use whenever.
Get out of jail.
I mean, it gives you a mechanical bonus.
Get out of jail free card would imply that it's an automatic success, which usually an item granted by load just gives you a +1. So I would say no.
Okay. All right. I'm just thinking because all right. I kind of ran on an ADD tangent there.
I do it all the time. It's fun.
Going back to the mystery thing, though. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like you get stuff from the corpse without the mystery, anyways. I also want to point out it's been 2 weeks now of playtesting, 2 out of 2 weeks, where we've had somebody come on and have this idea for an AI that comes out, where we have to be like, okay, but you do care about people. Like, it's not to say that that shouldn't be a part of the game. It should be, but I do feel like the mystery examples that we have, they try to make players follow that thing, even if they don't have a character concept that really matches up to that, you know?
Right. Okay, so how about if you get rid of the mystery system, right? And you add something more to the physical corpse that you actually get that ties you with the individual. So okay. You pick your suit. That's like the corpse was wearing. So the AR stealth suit, blah blah blah. And then you roll a dice for one of these modifiers because that's the body that was in it.
Oh, one of the specialties?
Yeah, one of the specialties.
That's a neat idea.
That's a neat idea.
How many do you have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 12.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
So like you pick your suit and then you roll a d12 and that's like this is the guy that was in it.
The corpse's specialty,
yeah, and this is what it was good at.
It's a good narrative justification.
It might be antithetical to what you want to do as a character. Who cares if you leave it as a mystery and have to talk to the GM about it? You just have a character concept in mind.
That's not
right. Exactly.
Narratively, you're an AI that took the first boat out of the harbor that you could
exactly.
So if
that's what that dice means.
Then whatever, right?
That's what the dice means. You just got the one you got.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot. That's a really good note.
Because then I'm now tied as an AI to the body. This is what I got. It might not be what I wanted, but it's what I got, and it's draining fast now.
I do have I do take umbrage with one thing. There is that introduces a D12 into our game that is exclusively D4, which actually does mean I have to rewrite something that I would prefer.
It's not necessarily. You don't necessarily have to do that. You could leave players with a little bit of choice. You roll a d4 and have 3 tables.
Oh, hold on.
You literally just need to take 2 of these off the list, have a list of 10, and then roll 3d4 starting at 3. Voila.
Yeah, I mean that's like not clean though.
I mean it's
I
don't know.
I mean no, you just leave them. So, go ahead, Corey. What do you got?
Just have another player pick it. Player to your left picks your specialty, or have the archivist pick it.
Well, no. Okay. Here's
having the archivist pick it.
We can't even use that terminology. I don't know why.
I love how you guys are saying archivist too.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
I mean, leave maybe just an element of player agency, right? 3 tables, you roll a d4, and you get the 4 on the first, second, or third table. Your pick. I don't know. There's options. There's a lot of ways
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, still leaves some choice.
Yeah. because that was going to be my other comment, is that some players like won't dig that just because people like to pick things over rolling sometimes. Having that, like, you roll a 4, okay, you can pick a 4 off of one of these 3 tables. That's clean. I like that a lot.
Or it's even less than that, even simpler than that. Here's the 4 table. Here's the 3 table. Here's the 2 table. Here's the 1 table. You know?
Yeah, that would
That. I like that a lot.
Look at you designing tabletop RPGs.
I also wanted to point out that I think we need to lower our base energy for each suit.
Okay.
If we want to encourage,
I would not have a problem
if
with that
you're,
at all.
yeah, if you're experimenting with this lower pip, lower energy, like suit jumping idea, where now you get to roll dice every time you suit jump too, right? What do you specialize in?
Let me. I actually do have. I do need to go fairly soon, but I wanted to get your thoughts on one last thing, Adam. Dexploration. What were your thoughts? We drew, I think, 4 or 5 cards during this game. Did you generally enjoy that system? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it?
Generally loved it. Like overall, like it wrote the narrative of the main things that happened in our campaign, right? Like we encountered those things, and it dictated like their nature, and so that dictated what we expected and how we acted. Like it set the tone for the room. You know, if you knew it was benevolent, malevolent, you know, yada yada yada. It did feel the tiniest bit contrived in that you had to interact with it almost certainly, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like if you almost highlight it a little more, gamify it a little more, like that's like that could be a good thing. I don't know. I liked it. There was that moment where obviously Adam got a weird combination, right?
Yeah, billowing
and
protective.
Yeah,
and then that's when you're like, you roll the sex dice and you're like, lick ankle, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know.
I'm not gonna do it again, Len.
It was definitely something where, I mean, he had a really unique interpretation of it.
Sure.
Obviously,
and
gonna try and go with it as much as possible, and I think it led to a really cool scene. Right,
but it felt like you both were like, this is a little weird.
Yeah, no, it was definitely something where I don't know. I enjoy it. I almost wish there was more of a way to expand it, because I feel like you've got 4 suits when it happens. You've got 15 options, 15 prompts. It seems like there's not. It's a limited amount of combinations, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be though. Like we codified it as 1 card. It doesn't have to be that. Draw 2 cards. Only think of the first quality. Now it's billowing and like cybernetic. It's like, okay, now that gives me something weird. Or it's and I think part of it is too. We need to sell the aesthetic of the game and like encourage, like we have this sort of like ambient psychedelia going on in this game, and I don't know, like I mean, maybe we can like write more narrative fluff into this book, expand it past, and then we no longer have to keep it at 20 pages, right? And maybe that will get people. I've been thinking of aesthetics a lot because I'm looking at games for aesthetic reasons right now, and maybe we need to start getting people in that mind. Yeah. Like I think we have the imagery, we have the color scheme, we have the design to do that. And like now we need to like pump it up a bit more.
Well, part of the
magic card flavor test.
Focusing on the corpse jumping aspect of it is going to really help you out with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, because I was almost getting to the point where I was like, oh, I got to think about my character as this fucking corpse. And I'm like, no, I'm just a fucking AI in this thing. It's just a vessel. Yeah. So.
So, any final thoughts on tonight? Mainly Adam, because this is your first time playing.
Yeah.
But also Corey. I mean, this is your first time as a player. Any final thoughts? Any things that popped out that you wanna share?
You suck. Girls are cute. Your dogs are really cool.
Yep.
I don't know. I got nothing. I don't.
Very cogent.
I'm just like, yeah. I don't know. I feel like we just talked about a whole bunch of specific things, so it's hard to. I think we probably covered my favorites already.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll say this. Go on.
I did like how easy character creation was. It was quick and dirty, and that was the idea. I just wish I had encountered it more.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bummed that we didn't get to experiment with it mid-game.
Did that happen in any other playtest? Did anybody run out of energy and have to get a new course?
We actually got TPK'd last week. We got TPK'd like, what, Corey, 3/4 of the way through?
Yeah.
And Corey gave us the option to continue the story, just saying like there are corpses around. And so yeah, like for me it was lightning fast. That shouldn't come as a surprise because I helped create, the game. But I literally made my new character in like 2 minutes. For Derek, I think it took him a little more than 5.
Yeah, and I think it shouldn't be too difficult, especially if you do have it as where you're sitting in the background for a moment while someone carries your card.
Right.
Which I thought you were going to highlight there at the end of our game. I thought you were going to be like, he walks into the room and all 3 of you are just like cards popping out of corpses. And he's like, and then he picks them all up.
SIM cards.
Exactly. He's like, damn it! But same exact.
This will be great.
Idea of what you did, but just as with cards instead of corpses. I thought you were going to do that.
I thought he was going to be Jason Holman for a second. I was very concerned that they were clones.
Fuck, that would have been
I thought it was going to be.
Damn.
I thought it was going to be Waltz.
I don't know. I want to.
Okay, so yeah, that's what.
Yeah, no, because he kept saying like you need to be like in your places. That was the implication.
Yeah, that's what I got. Jason Holman would have been funny. Walt was supposed to be Walt.
I think that. Sorry. I think that. I don't know, maybe this is a credit to you as a GM, Taylor, but like you pretty seamlessly were able to not just color our adventure, but like it became like the exploration bits that we developed became like inherent in the story. And that felt like as a player really connective. Like it made me feel integral in a really cool way that like otherwise it was not prescriptive, right? Like it was us being descriptive, and it made me feel empowered.
And just to be clear, I mean, that is entirely me. No one else could do this, right? I mean, obviously, God, look at me.
And kudos to you, man. You made me feel for a cybernetic arm. I love that character.
I fucking love the cybernetic arm. Phenomenal.
He's great. He's out there looking for the fifth experience.
That whole scene was me just racking my brain about what does a cybernetic arm lost in space do? Grab stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. It was probably one of my favorite characters I've ever encountered in a tabletop. I'll remember him forever, and he doesn't even have a name.
But yeah, no. On that note, Corey, I did fill out some cat sheets. I used exactly the first one, and like after that,
you were in.
Yeah, after that, it was entirely Dexploration.
Well, I wanted to say that's also interesting. Is like we had a kind of divergent. You ran your game almost exclusively in like one very confined area where like I don't know. Ours was like yours was a bit more hopping around, right? I guess not. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was. Trying to think now. You definitely yours spanned a larger geographic area than mine did.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, you guys you went out into space. You saw probably what 4 or 5 different areas on like this space station. So not to say it was entirely confined. Definitely a bit more confined than yours was.
Yeah, I actually think we went to more areas than yours. That's actually interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, okay, cool. In any case, I think that this is a good place to leave it off.
Yeah.
Adam, thank you so much for coming on. You're like our best playtester. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Don't fluff me up too much.
I'm gonna fluff the shit out of you. And I am gonna give you the floor as well. To let us know who you are. Let us know what you got going on.
I mean, as far as like my own channels and whatnot, really a whole lot of nothing. I'm a gamer by hobby and trade. But if you find yourself in need of custom guitar parts, fancy things, PRS guitars, things like that, find your way over to John Mann's Guitar Vault.
They are
That's
so
baby.
nice. Oh my god, I want to buy one of those guitars so bad, and I'm gainfully employed.
You can't have it. You can't have one.
They did specifically message me, and they were like, "Not you though," and I was like,
"Yeah,
okay.
banned as a customer."
Yeah, reasons unclear, but do go check out their store. Actually, hang on one sec. I think I've got there.
What are you doing? I'm scared of you.
I'm pulling up the site because I have it bookmarked.
Oh.
I literally come here like regularly, and I'm like, what new shit do they have? Because it's really cool. So yeah, do come check out johnmansguitarvault.com. It is full of super cool goodies, and definitely worth your time checking out if you are either a new or a professional musician.
Thanks, Taylor.
Yeah, and with that being said, we do want to thank everybody for coming in and checking out the stream. We will be back again next week, I assume, with another playtest, because that is what we're doing right now. This is season of the playtest, baby.
Yep.
So we will see you guys next week. If you do want to follow us online, we're not on any social media anymore because fuck that. But you can definitely follow us here on Twitch. It helps our channel out a ton. If you'd like to participate in one of these playtests, or God forbid, run God in a Corpse, which we would love, please reach out to us here on Twitch. You can also reach us via our site at tgsgames.com. You can also get us by Gmail at terramundigames@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for all of your time. Hope you've enjoyed God in a Corpse, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Good job, Taylor.
And we're out. Yeah, no, I had the stream up, so I saw like the audience side of things. I know, even though that like it's pretty low stakes, it's still stressful, I can imagine. Gently freak out for a few hours each time.
Yeah. We're going to have to figure out running this game at con in a couple months. So,
oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really terrifying and exciting.
Yeah. Me, because I'm going to say something like horse kennel. Then I'll close the book and leave. I'll try it out. Just say boat sailing?
Oh my god. That would be... Oh, please. Please, Taylor, videotape this. Speaking of, like, do you guys clip your Twitch streams, or you should?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. It's
Neither
one
one of
more
us
thing
has
to
it.
fucking do.
I mean, it's something we need to do.
Is there
Well,
like I don't know how the back end of it works. Can you just like fucking load up the whole thing and be like, we were live for 3 hours and there it is? Can you load it up as a VOD and like put it on YouTube? You know, like
yeah.
oh, well, at least do that.
We do.
Okay. Speaking of, like, what's your YouTube? I don't subscribe to Twitch.
Terramundi TV.
Yeah, that's what food.
It's not curated. It's mostly chaotic.
That's fine. I'm not subscribed.
The fun thing will be eventually we'll go make a documentary about ourselves.
That sounds.
It's mostly two people thinking about dice going.
Well. You need to run numbers and figure out how to elegantly